this week, caused by a chase in Little Five Points.
It happened earlier this week as a state trooper chased a driver down Moreland Avenue. That driver went through a red light during the chase, hitting and killing an innocent 19-year-old from DeKalb County. The National Police Accountability Project says it believes this is just the latest in a pattern of tragic crashes caused by pursuits. They're calling for an end to high-speed chases, but also want restrictions like requiring approval from a supervisor before starting a pursuit. They're meeting today at the site of this week's accident. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
It is 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says should see plenty of sunshine today. The high topping out right around 70 degrees. We dip back into the 40s tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. We're hearing a reaction this morning after a South Fulton police officer is killed while on duty.
The Georgia State Patrol is investigating the crash on Flat Shoals Road at Connell Road, where initial reports indicate Lieutenant Helio Garcia was driving his department-issued vehicle while on duty when another car veered into his lane and struck his vehicle head-on. He died from his injuries a short time later at the hospital. South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows says in a statement that Lieutenant Garcia was more than a colleague, he was family, and his department will carry his memory with him in every shift, every call, and every act of service. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Well, a new financial report out just a few minutes ago shows a rise in retail sales.
Consumers opened their wallets during the month of March. Sales were up by 1.4% from the previous month. That's a little bit stronger than expected.
Yeah, that's business analyst Jill Schlesinger. We're going to see how this morning's report will affect Wall Street when the bell rings this morning at 9:30. Just looking at stock futures now, they are down, but appear to be trending upward since that report was released around 8:30. Well, tariffs will be top of mind during an online event from the Georgia Chamber of Commerce today. A statewide virtual press call set for noon today to look at the impact that the duties will have on Georgia businesses. We'll be watching to see what comes out of that call. Meanwhile, a major U.S. business is the latest to feel the impacts of the current tariff war with China, which has vowed to stop buying planes from Boeing.
They're the biggest exporter in the U.S., and China's a really big market for them. Over the next 2 decades, they project 20% of their demand is going to come from China. So this represents an opportunity for Airbus, a competitor to slot in.
The Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady says it comes at the same time that Hong Kong has vowed to stop sending shipments to the U.S. in retaliation to what it calls bullying tariffs from the U.S. Another Metro Atlanta city looks to crack down on fatal crashes on its roads.
Sandy Springs City Council has okayed its safety action plan, steps to end traffic fatalities involving drivers, bicyclists, pedestrians, and transit riders. The only question, the year the goal must be met.
2050 is just too long. I will not support this unless this moves to 2040.
So 2040 it will be.
The amendment is adopted.
The plan includes mid-block crossings, more sidewalks, and a lot more. It comes after word Sandy Springs had 27,000 wrecks in 5 years. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
And a new recall will affect some parents of young kids.
Target has cleared its shelves of 26,000 tubs of its Good and Gather baby food after issuing a voluntary recall on its pea, zucchini, kale, and thyme vegetable puree for elevated lead levels.
Reporter Deborah Rodriguez says even small amounts of lead can affect behavior and cognitive development from kids, but the FDA notes the probability of any issues remains low. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start with the roads. Triple team traffic. Smiler Mark McKay.
Double trouble on the Stone Mountain Freeway. Judd, traffic trooper Bart spotted the crash that we have on the jam cam, leaving the park entrance at Hugh Howell Road. Yep, a right lane is knocked out. Secondary crash approaching Mountain Industrial Boulevard. DeKalb Fire Rescue on the scene in the right lane, 78 westbound at Mountain Industrial. So double trouble if you're heading to 285. 85 is going to take a while to recover between Duluth and Norcross. Crash that lingered in an HOT express lane has cleared at Jimmy Carter Boulevard, but heavy delays back into the Highway 316 interchange. Rolling out of Alpharetta, and a whole lot of slow traffic this morning, Ashley Frasca.
Confirming that crash. At times it's in the left lane on 400 southbound. Sandy Springs police are with it before Northridge has you on the brakes all the way back before Windward Parkway. That's where the slow ride begins. Maybe time through Alpharetta, Roswell to think about using Highway 9. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and mild today. High 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, back in the mid-80s by Friday.
50 degrees in Sandy Springs, 51 in Riverdale, 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Good morning, friends, on this refreshingly chilly Wednesday morn. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. A lot of big stories to get you caught up to date on, including new autism numbers as we try to find a reason for the surge in autism here in the United States of America. We're going to go in depth with Jim Ryan on that. John Decker is going to join us live from the White House. More tariff news today. The Trump administration meeting with their Japanese counterparts. This, of course, as we just got the retail sales number, they skyrocketed as Americans apparently are trying to tariff-proof their products. So we're going to go to the White House in 30 minutes. But maybe, you know what, not maybe. I should mention this at the start of the show. In about 15 minutes, Deborah Green is going to give away another amazing prize pack. What do we have today, Deborah?
Yeah, we've got more tickets to go see Yacht Rock Review. They're going to be doing a private performance here in the WSB Live Lounge, and we'll get to see them at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on April 26th as well.
Unbelievable. So like around 9:20-ish, I'm going to give away the first set, and then 11:35, we're going to give away the second set. 2 chances for you to win one of the coolest prize packs I've ever been blessed to give away here on the radio. Tickets to the amazing Yacht Rock Review concert at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, and then the intimate show here at the WSB Radio Studios. I'll be there doing a Q&A. Fantastic. So your first chance to win coming up in about 15 minutes here on the Mark Aram Show. I do want to start off with a local story we've been talking about here on the show for the last couple of weeks. The rash, well, I don't know if we can call it a rash, but 2 fatal crashes as a result of high-speed police chases in Metro Atlanta. 1 in Buckhead, 1 in Little Five Points. And sadly, 2 innocent victims died in both of these crashes. You heard it throughout Atlanta's morning news. Covering the story and joining us live in studio, our good friend, WSB radio reporter Austin Eller. Austin, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Mark. Good to be here.
This is a story I've been following, with my traffic background for almost 30 years here in Atlanta. When to and when not to engage in a high-speed pursuit. And I don't have the dates, but I remember we had a similar situation years ago, and it caused local police jurisdictions to revisit their chase policies. And that's been kind of the status quo. But when we have 2 innocent people lose their lives in the matter of less than 2 weeks, it brings that story back to the forefront. What do you know about what happened in these 2 crashes, and what is the standard protocol when it comes to law enforcement engaging in a high-speed police chase?
Yeah. Well, I really want to focus on the one this week with Little Five Points, because that's the one really getting the attention this week. That was Monday evening, and that situation in particular, the State Patrol essentially said that they spotted this person, this driver on I-20, making erratic lane changes, and they wanted to pull this person over. Well, of course, the person kept going. They eventually got to Moreland Ave and got to Little Five Points, and the reason we're talking about this now is because they got to a red light and just plowed through and during the chase, and as part of that, they hit an innocent driver, a 19-year-old from DeKalb County who was just there. I mean, he was just driving, of course, killed him. So that's really the focus of this week's story, is when and when not to chase, suspects in cases like this. And that's certainly not the first time this has happened. There's another trial underway this week as well, a trial which is almost identical to this situation, except it happened last year. So another situation where a person was fleeing, ran through a red light, hit a person, killed them.
Wow.
Almost the same exact thing. So that's really the discussion point. And so this afternoon at 3:30 on Moreland, there's a group of lawmakers and community advocates that are going to be holding a press conference to essentially call for change to the pursuit policy. They want essentially pursuits completely removed, eradicated from the State Patrol's policy. But if that's not a possibility, they want some new restrictions, like having the need for supervisors' approval to pursue or continue a pursuit at a high speed. Things like that. Another request they've made is to stop the pursuit policy if they're in a high trafficked area like Little Five Points is.
And Buckhead.
And Buckhead, certainly.
So, Austin, both of these happened within the Atlanta city limits, but it was not APD that was engaged in these chases. It was Georgia State Patrol. What is the Georgia State Patrol chase policy? And not that it is relevant to either of these 2 cases, but just out of curiosity, does the City of Atlanta Police Department have a chase policy?
I'm sure Atlanta has one. I know there were. I don't want to speak out of turn, so I'm not entirely confident what their policy is. I know there were some changes, however, a few years ago in relation to all this. So I think they have kind of put some more restrictions in place, but I don't want to give exact details because I'm not positive on that. However, the State Patrol, it's a little more vague. They have this policy that, again, they can pursue, and there are guidelines, as far as when they can and cannot pursue. A spokesperson, spoke to media last year from the State Patrol and essentially said that, if a trooper feels the need to pursue and it's within the law, the guidelines that they've put in place, then they essentially have the backing of the department. And so it's a little more vague, but I think the question that's really going to spring here, it seems to be very focused around, again, is this supposed to be happening in a highly populated area? But secondly, the situation with this person in particular in 5 Points, again, from what I understand, this was not a violent criminal. It was somebody that was essentially a traffic offense. And
that was my next question. The State Patrol, in your reporting, saw him weaving in and out of traffic, an aggressive driver, and that's what started off the pursuit. Do we know if, A, was the suspect captured, and B, was there a reason for him to run from the State Patrol? Did he have outstanding warrants or anything like that?
So she was captured, that fleeing motorist.
A female.
It was a female.
Okay.
She was taken to the hospital, and my understanding is she's since been released and is of course facing charges. She's got a list of charges she's facing, murder being one of them, for what happened with that 19-year-old. But in that case in particular, I believe she really was not facing any violent crimes. There were no outstanding violent crimes from what we have found. And so, who knows why she was fleeing in that situation. But I think that is going to be a major part of the conversation is, hey, if somebody's got an outstanding warrant for murder, does that warrant a higher, weight as far as a pursuit engagement versus somebody who's got a charge for shoplifting?
Austin Eller joining us live in studio on the Mark Arum Show, updating our top local story. The last 2 weeks, two innocent people lose their lives as a result of high-speed police chase. In my research on this story, I found, Austin, that the Georgia State Patrol has kind of like it's a broad policy. It allows sworn troopers to, quote, make reasonable determination on whether to start or end a chase. And that puts with such a vague policy, it puts the troopers in a difficult position because this is split-second stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they have to determine if this is chase worthy or not. And I don't know how long it would take for that Georgia State Patrol to run the tag and say, hey, is this person wanted for a violent crime? Is this worth pursuing? I mean, those are split-second decisions, but obviously, with two innocent people losing their lives in the matter of 2 weeks, this is something that policies are going to have to be revisited. Now, I'm pretty confident that a majority of the local municipalities have ended their high-speed police chase policy. I think Douglas County might be an exception. They kept it in state, but it's been. And you'll see local police call the Georgia State Patrol, hey, can you chase this person?
Right.
They have been, at the top of the food chain, if you will, when it comes to police chases. Is this going to get political, do we think? Is there bipartisan support on this?
It's possible. I don't know where, to be honest with you, I don't know where people stand when it comes to bipartisanship with these policies. But I do know that this group that's meeting today, they are specifically requesting Governor Kemp and Burt Jones to essentially lay out all this stuff on their own without going to the legislature. So that's what they're asking for. This group that meets today is to kind of have the governor set out these policy changes. Now, will that happen? I don't know. But, I certainly think it could become a political debate. Is it right now? It doesn't exactly appear to be that way. So.
I feel for all the law enforcement folks out there this morning, right? Because this has got to be top of mind when you have your morning or afternoon meetings at the precinct. And this is going to become a topic of conversation. So now you have law enforcement officers with a seed of doubt in their mind,
Right.
like if what happens today if someone runs for me,
Right.
what do I do? It's really a tough spot for them to be in.
No, and you're so right. I mean, you mentioned earlier it's a split-second decision I'm sure these guys are making, men and women, and who knows what this state trooper saw out of this driver, in the 5 points or in the Buckhead situation that encouraged them to pursue. I'm sure that'll all come to light at some point, but it's, anytime, I do know this, anytime there's a policy change with law enforcement, if there are more policies put in place, it certainly changes the way they think as they're responding to a situation, of course, because now they've got to think about, is this within or without policy? And I don't necessarily know that that's a good or a bad thing, but it's an additive to their job.
A quick follow-up, Austin, for something you mentioned earlier about the trial starting for the crash that happened over a year ago.
Yeah.
Is that a criminal trial or a civil trial? Because I think there could be some civil liabilities with these two cases recently.
Yeah, so that's a criminal trial, and it's specifically for the driver that was fleeing for causing the accident that left a young woman dead. But my understanding is there could be certainly some civil.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Civil suits.
I just feel so bad for the family of the two innocent folks, one in Buckhead, one in 5 Points. Like we've all ridden through that intersection in Buckhead, Peachtree, Piedmont. We've all ridden through that busy intersection in 5 Points.
Yeah.
And the innocent loss of life is stunning. All right, again, 3:00 today. What's going to be going on down at
It's 3:30 today off Moreland, right where this happened in Little 5 Points. A group of lawmakers, community advocates are going to come together and essentially ask for changes to the State Patrol's pursuit policy.
All right, keep us posted on that. We'll have an update tomorrow morning on Atlanta's Morning News with Chris Chandler. It starts at 5 in the morning. Still to come on the show, we've got some movement in the deportation case. There was court action yesterday about the deportee in El Salvador. We're going to update that live in Washington, D.C. with CBS correspondent Aaron Navarro. And Kim Commando is going to join us talking tech at 11:35. After we check traffic and this break, you're going to get a chance to win that amazing prize pack to see Yacht Rock Review. But first, let's check that Wednesday drive around town. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
And Mark jammed up as you leave Alpharetta into Roswell this morning with a crash that's been working on the left shoulder. At times, the left lane blocked 400 southbound before Northridge Road exit 6, but bumper to bumper all the way back to around Windward Parkway, exit 11. Avoid that. You can use Highway 9 as an alternate to save yourself time in North Fulton. Also been dealing with crashes, Highway 78 westbound right at Stone Mountain Park. That's been in a right lane, and then past that, another crash right at Mountain Industrial Boulevard, moved mostly to the right shoulder. This report is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment. Revive your ride at summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusive supply offer ends on May 4th, 2025. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi, I'm Glenn Burns. As a meteorologist for over 40 years, I've seen how weather impacts our homes. That's why I chose windows that withstand our weather extremes and keep my family comfortable. I picked North Georgia replacement windows for my home, and I recommend them for yours. Their Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, and they're energy efficient. Plus, I know my windows will stay tight and true no matter the forecast.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah! 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Termites, like me, eat 24/7, and your home is in their path of destruction. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. You want a complete barrier from Breda, not just a bait station. If your current service only inspects the outside, how do you know the inside of your home's termite-free? Breda is better at beating termites. Only Breda inspects and protects the outside and inside. Plus, your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs. I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
If you stand up and want to protest, if you want to shout and chant, we will have you removed just like that man was thrown out.
Fireworks, tasers, applause, a raucous affair at the town hall meeting from Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. I've got additional thoughts on the high-speed chase policy. I'll share those with you in just a second. See, I'm so excited to give away these tickets here. Deborah Green is joining us live. She is the queen of the prize closet, giving away. We're going to have 2 opportunities to win this amazing prize pack. One now, one at 11:35. Again, Deborah, what is this amazing prize pack?
This is a really amazing prize pack because you actually get to go to 2 concerts. The first one is Yacht Rock Review doing a private performance here in the WSB Live Lounge. Very limited admission for that. That's going on Monday, April 21st.
Intimate.
And then we'll get you another pair of tickets to go see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, and that show is April 26th.
So sick, so sick. All right, we're going to take it easy on Vinny. Today is the 16th of April, so we'll do the 16th caller to Vinny Drip at 404-872-0750. 16th caller to 404-872-0750 wins that amazing prize pack. Pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review in the intimate WSB Live Lounge. I'll be there hosting and doing a Q&A, and then a pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on April the 26th. If you miss out now, another chance to win this prize pack coming up after the news at 11:35. All right, I had an observation that I wanted to mention about this high-speed police chase. Now, you know, if you're like me, you grew up smoking the Bandit police chases, right? You grew up with Cannonball Run speed chases back in the 70s and 80s. There was no other recourse. If you missed the Bandit then, you were never getting the Bandit. But there's so much better technology now in 2025. Right? If you, and again, I'm not judging anyone. It's up to the departments and the state patrol to set the policy. But the risk reward is different now than it was in 1975 when it comes to a chase. You see the bandit now going down on I-20, and he's going 110 miles an hour. You know, in 1975, you had to chase the bandit. That was it. But now there's so much technology at the fingertips of law enforcement. Obviously, you could run the plate real faster now. Boom, you find out, oh, the bandit's got warrants out for attempted murder, whatever. You've got amazing amount of security and video cameras everywhere. You can literally call up the dispatchers and say, hey, they just got off I-20 at Moreland Avenue. Follow them on the cameras. Right? You don't lose them once you lose sight of them. You can keep up with them. And there's also GPS technology. There should be some way for law enforcement officials at the start of a chase to somehow, I don't want to say shoot at a GPS tracker, but shoot a tracker at the back, and hit it on the rear bumper of the car that's pursuing. Then you don't have to pursue them. You've got a GPS tracker on them, like the Apple tags, the Air tags. There's got to be some way technologically for law enforcement to do that. Again, not judging. It's the protocol is what the protocol, but obviously it's under scrutiny as two innocent people lost their lives in less than 2 weeks here in Metro Atlanta. And again, I feel bad for the men and women in law enforcement patrolling our streets to keep us safe right now, and having to have that philosophical argument in their head after these two deadly crashes. Go, oh, do I pursue or do I not pursue? It's a tough spot to be in. Very tough spot to be in. All right, Judd's got your news, weather, and traffic. And when we come back on to the White House, correspondent John Decker is going to join us live. More tariff news. We got good retail sales numbers. What's that mean for you and me and the economy? Social media is active throughout the broadcast. At Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Had a story on the show yesterday reporting that it is now cool to be frugal. Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at Xfinity. You know, Xfinity Internet and mobile together has always been cool, and it's certainly frugal. When you combine your internet service and your mobile service with Xfinity, you can save over $500 a year per line. That's being frugal. That's being smart. That's being cool. Check out the amazing deals that Xfinity has when you combine internet and mobile together online at Xfinity.com. And what's great about Xfinity Mobile is there are so many Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide, over 20 million nationwide, that you can take that Xfinity mobile phone, hook it up to the Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot, and you get great service no matter where you want to go. It's cool to be frugal, so save up to $500 a year on your mobile service when you combine internet and mobile together with Xfinity. Online at Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit your local Xfinity store today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story this half hour as we watch the impact of tariffs around the country, including here in Metro Atlanta. A new federal report out this morning shows U.S. retailers increased their spending by 1.4% last month. U.S. shoppers, meaning that. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says that number's slightly higher than what many analysts predicted, although it probably will not last.
Economists expect that consumers will soon slow down this pace of spending once they buy those big-ticket goods that they believe will rise in price over the next few months.
Everybody keeping an eye on tariffs. This morning's report actually sent stock futures lower on Wall Street, and as the bell rings this morning, stocks start the day down, way down for NASDAQ, down almost 2% right now. S&P and Dow also well down. It is 53 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says after this chilly start to the day, look for the high to get up near 70 degrees, plenty of sunshine, get back into the 80s later on this week. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Happening today, a group of lawmakers and safety advocates call on the Georgia State Patrol to end pursuits after this week's deadly crash that ended a chase in Little Five Points. A 19-year-old driver was killed when a suspect fleeing troopers during a traffic stop crashed into her car. That busy intersection of Moreland and Euclid Avenues. The group gathers this afternoon at the site of that deadly crash. Recent reporting shows GSP has engaged in over 6,700 pursuits over the past 5 years, leading to more than 1,900 injuries and more than 60 deaths. Today's the final day to register for a program aimed at helping Metro Atlanta students prepare for college, while also giving a boost to college students studying education.
Middle schoolers can apply to become part of a program that provides year-round guidance for kids all the way through high school.
We combine learning with fun, and all with the goal of keeping our students on a track of getting into and succeeding in college.
Monique Shields says Breakthrough Atlanta also gives college students classroom experience as they look to begin teaching careers.
Student and teaching fellowship applications are open. BreakthroughAtlanta.org.
Applications must be received by tonight. They will select 500 students and 60 college mentors for the 2025-26 program year. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz tells Bloomberg he believes automakers will hold off on vehicle price hikes, at least for now, amid the global trade war.
He said the car maker will maintain its prices through June 2nd at least.
Then after that, we will evaluate the situation, but you have to always be competitive regardless of tariffs.
Munoz said the United States is Hyundai's most important global market.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti reports Munoz says automakers could gradually increase their vehicle prices to help ease any tariff shock. And this one is for bowling enthusiasts. Researchers from Princeton, MIT, and over in the UK use mathematics from the 18th century to determine the best formula for bowling a perfect game.
Aim for the 28th wooden floorboard from the left. Release the ball at an angle of 1.8 degrees to the right of dead straight, and hey presto.
You got all that. Correspondent Vicki Barker says there is actually more to this research than just bowling. It may actually lead to innovations in design and equipment in other fields. It's 9:33. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Mike Shields.
Joe, it's still slow all across Metro Atlanta, and especially on 400 southbound, leaving Alpharetta into Roswell. Looks like a crash is cleared, though. 400 southbound and Northridge Road still sluggish, though, as you leave Windward Parkway, and getting slow on 75 southbound in Clayton County with right lane road work right at I-285, and that's really impacting 285 eastbound, transitioning onto 75 southbound in Forest Park. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, heating up to the mid-80s on Friday under a sunny sky.
53 degrees right now in Duluth, 53 in Ackworth, 53 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 North.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Our family is torn apart during this scary time, and our children miss their dad so much.
That's the wife of Abrego Garcia, still to come on the show. We'll up the latest on his court case and the deportation situation. But next, we go live to D.C. New tariff news to pass along. 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Cancer upends your life,
We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
It's that time of year. Not talking about bunnies or colorful eggs. I'm talking about pollen and allergies. It's no wonder everybody's in spring cleaning mode, am I right? But not just any clean. I'm talking deep clean. The kind of clean that helps you and your family breathe and sleep easier. And that means it's time to call Zerorez. Clean home is a healthy home. And Zerorez removes dirt from the spaces in your home where life happens, and kids happen, and pets happen. And because they don't use soaps, detergents, or harsh chemicals, the things that attract dust and dirt over time, your spring clean stays cleaner longer. How do they do that? Well, ZR Water Technology, that's how. ZR Water Technology minus harsh soaps and chemicals equals soft, fluffy carpets that stay cleaner longer. For this month only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for the price of 2. Mention me, Chris Chandler, to secure this deal today. Book online at ZerorezAtlanta.com and ask about Zerorez commercial cleaning too. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
9:36 on what is a beautiful morning here in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, we got new data out, new numbers when it comes to the autism rate here in the United States. We'll go in depth on that story, and obviously we're going to update you on the court cases regarding the El Salvadorian deportee. But can't do a show without talking tariffs. Joining us live from the nation's capital, White House correspondent John Decker. John, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Hey, I'm well, Mark. How are you doing today?
I'm waiting. Well, the market's just open, so I didn't want to look yet, but we got some good retail numbers there, but also some new movement in the tariff war. What's going on there?
Well, the White House, specifically the chief economic advisor to the president, says that 10 countries are now in the process of negotiating new trade deals with the U.S. No word in terms of which 10 countries we're talking about, although we know that when the president announced that pause, that 90-day pause in reciprocal trade tariffs, we know that Japan and South Korea did reach out to the U.S. almost immediately. So those 2 countries could be among the 10 that Kevin Hassett is talking about.
Yeah, I saw some reporting today that maybe there was someone from the Japanese delegation that would be meeting with the White House. This, of course, coming on the heels, though, of the Chinese president making an Asian tour of nations to try to shore up their trade relations. So it's just a race to the finish line between the United States and Chinese to come up with these new deals for trade partners?
Oh, I think so. What the Chinese are trying to do is expand their trade markets. Given the fact that Chinese trade markets will be impacted by 145% tariffs that the U.S. is imposing on Chinese goods. And so Chinese President Xi meeting this week with both the leaders of Vietnam and Cambodia, trying to reach new trade deals with those countries.
It's tough for a layman like me to follow. That we have reversals, we have pauses, we have exceptions. I guess that I just want to know what currently is tariffed right now. So the blanket 10% tariff is in effect for all of our trade partners. What are the exceptions? What do we need to know here in Atlanta?
Well, there is a baseline 10% tariff on all goods that are imported into the country. In addition to that, there's a 25% tariff on all automobiles that are manufactured outside the United States. And right now, there's a pause on the 90 days on those reciprocal tariffs that the president announced just 2 Wednesdays ago in the Rose Garden on so-called Liberation Day. In addition to that, of course, those tariffs remain in place in regards to Chinese goods.
White House correspondent John Decker joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I guess the elephant in the room, though, is the massive tariffs that we have on China and the reciprocal tariffs that China has sent on us. And the hope is that eventually the two sides will get to the table, but it appears that no one wants to blink first, right? No one wants to make that first move to open negotiations.
No, and China flexing its economic muscle yesterday. How did they do that? Well, they put a halt in delivery of about 170 Boeing passenger jets, that is a significant hit that Boeing will suffer because of that decision by China. And we'll see if there's any type of reaction coming from the U.S. in relation to that action taken by China just yesterday.
Did you say 170? That's a bigger number
did.
than I thought it was.
That's a huge number.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 3 different carriers, and when you add up the halt in delivery, it does impact 170 passenger planes.
Oh my goodness! Well, I guess that's the bad news for Boeing, but good news for Airbus, which would be the other provider of jumbo jets. All right, you're at the White House this morning. Anything we need to keep our eye on, John?
It's a relatively quiet day at the White House. Right now, as things stand in terms of the president's schedule, no public appearances by the president today. That could change, of course, on a moment's notice. So we'll see ultimately what happens. Also, no press briefing today with the White House press secretary.
Oh, interesting. All right. So if anything does pop, though, please let us know. John Decker, live in D.C. John, as always, appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you, Mark.
There you go. John Decker. Interesting on the tariff news. So we got the retail sales report in, and apparently Americans have gone out and purchased a lot of stuff. And analysts think it's because people are trying to get the stuff that they need and want before the tariffs hit. Again, I bought 5 years worth of deodorant. That's the only hoarding I did when it comes to the tariffs. But the retail sales numbers are up. Also up though, because it's really the two superpowers that are facing down on the tariff news. China's economy grew by 5.4% on the year in the first quarter of 2025, according to official data. Now, this is communist Chinese data released, right? So take everything with a grain of salt. But they also said that retail sales also picked up strongly in March. Those are the first economic figures that China has released since President Trump started the trade war. The numbers are above expectations and the government's annual growth target of 5%. But worries remain about China's ailing property market. So again, be dubious when the numbers come out of Beijing on the numbers, but certainly worth noting. And this is an interesting story, Deborah. Some economist or some manufacturing person determined how much it would cost to buy an iPhone, not with tariffs, but if the iPhone was fully produced in America, right? So never mind tariffs, but if Apple says, oh, we can't deal with these tariffs, everything that isn't an iPhone is going to be made and produced in the United States. What do you think an iPhone would cost if it's completely made in the U.S. of A.?
Is this like the top model one, the Pro?
It doesn't
everything?
say. I would say it's the
Okay.
base, like the baseline model.
3.5.
3.5 million.
3,500.
You Bob Barker just would have had a heart attack. You absolutely nailed it right on the nose.
I won the dinette set. All right.
You won the Yugo or whatever. Exactly right, Deborah. $3,500 if the iPhone was fully reshored and produced in America. Interesting, but it's gonna be close to that. What are they? Are they close to $1,000 now?
I think your base one's like 1,000. The fully loaded one's over 2.
So if you throw 140% tariff on that, it's $2,000. So, but that's still cheaper. I can't believe you just nailed that. That's insane.
Do I win one?
You'll win my old StarTAC flip phone that I have in my junk drawer at home. I want to get her out to L.A. right now or wherever they film Price is Right.
Yeah, it's L.A., I believe.
That was very impressive. Good job, Deborah. All right, speaking of tariffs, what kind of expectation of loss might we face here in Georgia because a lack of foreign tourists? We went in depth on how Vegas is getting just crushed right now. Flights from Canada are down 90%, and Canadians apparently love Las Vegas. Who would have known? And I know just from my own personal experience, a lot of Chinese nationals come into Vegas to gamble in the casino. So Vegas is looking really, really grim. But what about the tourism lost here in the state of Georgia, Deborah?
The U.S. economy is set to lose billions of dollars from a pullback in foreign tourism and boycotts on American products. Arrivals of non-citizens to the United States by plane, that dropped about 10% last month, according to the International Trade Administration. Almost $20 billion in retail spending from international tourism is here in the U.S. That might be at risk. Hospitality already noticing a decline in hotel bookings, and many tourists are now rethinking their vacation plans amid this increased hostility at the border, geopolitical friction restrictions and, of course, economic uncertainty. International travelers spent a record $254 billion in the States just last year. But now places like the UK, India, and Brazil, they're seeing an uptick in visitors.
Wow. Okay, so that's a huge number. 254 billion foreign visitors spend tourism dollars here, and that's not including the flights to come over. And it makes sense. Like maybe it's just me, but when I go on vacation, I take the mindset like I'm less of a Clark Howard on vacation, right? If I'm at the beach, it doesn't have to be international. Let's say I go out to Destin with Maya or St. Pete, and I was like, oh, let's go out and have a seafood dinner, and cost doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, it costs $25 to rent a beach chair. All right, we're on vacation. You lose that filter when you're on vacation when it comes to your financial scrutiny, and especially foreign travel. Like when we go to Tokyo. Now, thankfully, the dollar's still pretty strong in Japan. But you're like, oh, I'll have the breakfast buffet for $35. Why not much? Right? Deborah, do you do that when you go on vacation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're probably never going to be back at that place. You'll never get a chance to experience it or something different. Yeah.
You're on vacation. And even in the airport, it's like, oh, $7.50 for a bottle of Dasani? Why not? I'm about to go on vacation. It's crazy how at least my mind just flips where it's like money doesn't mean anything when you're on vacation. And the same could be said for foreign tourists coming to America, right? They're like, oh, I'll buy that $42 I Love New York t-shirt in Times Square, right? They'll do that. So huge numbers. All right. So what does it mean for you here in Georgia? I don't have 2024 numbers. I apologize. I was only able to get 2023 numbers. International visitors in 2023 in the Peach State increased by 5 million to a record 171 million. That's domestic and international visitors, by the way. So domestic and international tourists in Georgia in 2023, 171. That's the fifth highest in states. So we have the fifth most tourism in the United States, which is kind of shocking to me because we don't have a huge beach scene. We don't have Disney World. We don't have casinos. Georgia Travel and Tourism generated, you ready for this? $79.7 billion in economic impact, supporting more than 463,000 jobs. That's up more than 20,000 jobs over 2022. The tourism industry also produced a record $5 billion in state and local tax revenues in 2023, an increase of 7.2% over the record set the previous years. Governor Kemp was quoted last year when these numbers came out. Georgia continues to grow as a top destination for travelers and businesses alike. We've seen unprecedented visitation across all regions of the Peach State over the last couple of years, a testament to the unique attractions, natural resources, and cultural institutions that make Georgia such a desirable place to visit. So $79.7 billion in 2023 in economic impact. That's domestic and international visitors. Now, if the other states are any indication, we're going to see a significant drop in international visitors here in Georgia because of everything that's going on. But I imagine our domestic tourism dollars are going to drop too as folks look to cut costs. Instead of someone from Madison, Wisconsin going, oh, let's go to Georgia this summer and check out the aquarium and a Braves game. And they might go, oh, let's just go to Milwaukee and check out a Brewers game and go to some brewery or something, right? I mean, I'm sure families in Georgia right now are like, oh, we're not going to take our annual trip to Disneyland in L.A. We're gonna go to Nashville. We're gonna go to Chattanooga and check out the aquarium there. I bet there's a lot of conversations about that in summer vacation. All right, interesting stuff. Thank you, Deborah. All right, let's check traffic. The ride around town on this Wednesday morning. Where are the hot spots, Mike Shields?
Yeah, well, better news now, Mark, as you leave Alpharetta into Roswell and Georgia 400 southbound. Crash is cleared at Northridge Road. Now just dealing with the volume that still continues leaving Old Milton Parkway. Roadwork set up in Clayton County. Don't be surprised by these delays. 75 southbound right at I-285. That's in a right lane, and that's impacted 285 eastbound, especially leaving Riverdale Road getting to I-75. This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on vibrant organics at a Whole Foods Market. Market. Save on organic asparagus for $3.99 per pound with Prime through April 22nd while supplies last. Shop in store, online, terms apply. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
You ever walk into a business and look around and go, oh, these people know what they're doing. This is a classy operation. This is top notch. This is the best of the best. I had that experience the first time I walked into Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back for my friends at Advanced Hair. Top flight facility, top flight medical pros, and most importantly, top flight results. Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. It's a quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed to grow for life. Guys, if you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need that free consultation. Schedule now. 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
We've all got one, and there's never just one thing on it. Your home improvement to-do list. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus covers everything on your list. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, the owner of Painting Plus. We do it all, and we do it right. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
All right, let's get real here. Spring's here. The weather's beautiful. Just want to relax on my deck, take it all in. But boy, between the pollen, the grime, the algae, it is pretty gross, isn't it? I just about given up, really, on finding a pressure washing company I could trust. That's until I found Wise Guys Pro Wash. Hey, it's Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys Pro Wash are the only ones I trust to get my home clean and beautiful. They're local, they're professional. They made everything so easy and fast. Just one quick call, got a quote, book next next-day service, and I didn't even have to be home. I came back from work, and wow, the house, the driveway, the deck, it all looked amazing, clean and bright, totally spring-ready. And the best part, they used soft washing, so everything was cleaned safely. No damage, no peeling paint. Thought we might have to repaint, actually, but nope, Wise Guys saved it. Thanks to Wise Guys, I'm back to enjoying my deck. Support local, trust the pros. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off any service. Don't wait. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
Oh, great scene in a great movie, Airplane. That was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Happy birthday to the former Lou Alcindor. He is now 78 years old. He played for the Milwaukee Bucks and the L.A. Lakers. He had a number of movie and TV appearances there. He was the airplane pilot in Airplane. But wasn't he also a kung fu guy in a Bruce Lee film? I think he had a star I
believe so, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff there. Happy birthday to Kareem of the Skyhook, 78 years old today. Speaking of Airplane, Frank Drebin, who's the character that played Frank Drebin in the Airplane? Goodness gracious. Leslie Nielsen, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. So Leslie Nielsen, of course, is on Police Squad, those amazing movies. Did you see, Deborah, they're doing a reboot of Police Squad? And Frank Drebin's son is played by Liam Neeson. He is going to be the star of the new Police Squad movies.
I think I did, because I was kind of surprised by Liam Neeson.
Yeah. But he's Frank. I mean, Liam Neeson, you think of, Taken and all these but he is hilarious as a comedic actor. I think it's a great fit. So he is going to play Liam Neeson, or Frank Drebin's son, in the reboot of Police Squad. Very excited about that. Just an update on the police chase. I got this from Cat Guy on Twitter, talking about what other technological advances could law enforcement use to assist them when it comes to chasing perpetrators. Wheel grapplers are something that they're using. Basically, I guess just from the diagram, it looks like they shoot out the front of the cruiser and grab onto the chase vehicle, which is kind of interesting. And some departments, he says, are basically using a sticky GPS dart shooter on the front of their cruisers. That's what I was talking about. Like, shoot a GPS Apple AirTag onto the back of the car, then you don't have to do it. And, you can just follow them like you would a piece of lost luggage or something. So there's so many technological advances in law enforcement now that maybe they should lean on those more. Again, it's the policy of the department, not on the law enforcement officials sitting in that cruiser. That's a split-second call. That's a life or death call. And who I would not want to have to make that decision. Like, do I chase? Do I not chase? So maybe we get some clarification on the protocols and use the technological advances. All the security cameras, GPS, the grappler, the wheel grappler. Make it safer for everybody on the streets and safer for law enforcement, because they're the ones that are having to chase, right? Their lives are in danger as well. All right, social media is active throughout the show, at Mark Arum, MarkArum. When we come back, new autism numbers are out. Shockingly high number of cases of autism. Let's go in depth on that next on the Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. The Trump administration is kicking off investigations into imports of pharmaceuticals and semiconductors into the United States as part of an attempt to impose tariffs. On the pharmaceutical side, some drugstore owners nationwide are now stockpiling medicines. This man owns a pharmacy in Texas and shares his thoughts on the possibility of tariffs on drugs.
Almost any drug on the market can be impacted by the tariff. We are talking about antibiotics like doxycycline, amoxicillin. We are also talking about pain medication.
And the top executive at Hyundai Motor says he thinks automakers, though, will do their best to keep vehicle prices stable, even as the global trade war increases their costs.
Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz spoke with Bloomberg TV during a visit to New York. He said the car maker will maintain its prices through June 2nd at least.
Then after that, we will evaluate the situation, but you have to always be competitive regardless of tariffs.
Munoz said the United States is Hyundai's most important global market. He said automakers will likely increase their vehicle prices at a gradual pace to help ease any tariff shock. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
And the markets have opened lower today. As we take a look now, the Dow's down 324 at 40,044. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 2%. And the S&P's down almost 1.5% here in the 10 o'clock hour. Your weather for today, it's going to be sunny and mild, headed for an afternoon high of 71, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. This is new at 10 o'clock. A man who worked at the Cobb County Sheriff's Office has been arrested on child sex charges. The sheriff says Ivan Munoz had been fired as well. He was a criminal justice specialist. He'd been with the sheriff's office since 2000. He was arrested this morning and charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation following an investigation by Marietta police. A head-on crash claims the life of a South Fulton police officer.
The department says it's heartbroken to confirm the death of Lieutenant Helio Garcia in the line of duty. Garcia was driving his patrol car on Flat Shoals Road at Connell Road when it appears another driver crossed the center line, hitting his patrol car head-on. The Georgia State Patrol says it's still investigating, and it's not clear yet if the other driver, who's also injured, will face charges. South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows is asking for prayers and privacy for Garcia's loved ones and for his officers. He calls Garcia family, saying he served the department and the city with honor and distinction. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Just days after an innocent driver was killed during a police chase in Atlanta, a group of lawmakers now calling for change.
It happened earlier this week as a suspect fled from state troopers down Moreland Avenue in Little Five Points. That driver sped through a red light, crashing into a car being driven by a 19-year-old from DeKalb County, killing him. The National Police Accountability Project, lawmakers, and other advocates say these situations are happening far too often. They claim state troopers often engage in high-speed chases over low-level traffic violations. They want pursuits completely removed from the agency's policy, but immediately want chases restricted to suspects accused of violent crimes. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The American Cancer Society is launching a new pilot program to offer more support to cancer patients and their caregivers here in Metro Atlanta. The program's Babs Williams.
Through ACS Empower, our new program, we're offering classes led by people with expertise to help everyone access important information during treatment.
And she says this program is free, open to anybody in the metro area who's going through cancer, as well as caregivers and family members. There is an open house today. It starts next hour at 11:30 and will run until 1 o'clock this afternoon at the Hope Lodge in Decatur. And business analyst Jill Schlesinger this morning says the retail sales numbers, well, they rose 1.4% last month.
This is really a boost that is based on car purchases. Auto and truck purchases, as well as auto parts, they were up by 5.3% from a month ago. and 8.8% from a year ago.
And she says this report this morning shows that consumers are taking seriously that car and truck prices may be rising and appliance prices could go up as well. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Smiling Mark McKay has a look at your roads.
Good morning, Sabrina. Still seeing delays out of the northern suburbs, especially rolling out of Duluth into Norcross, where 85 is still stacked up as you approach Sugarloaf Parkway. Those delays will continue down toward Beaver Ruin Road. 316 is slow coming off of 316 westbound, trying to get onto that slow I-85 ride. Bumper to bumper, that battle down Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, leaving Peachtree Corners Norcross, headed south past Tilly Mill into the I-285 interchange. On the brakes on 400 southbound, leaving Old Milton Parkway, you'll ease up into Roswell and Sandy Springs. Crash in Woodstock just went to the shoulder. Still seeing delays, 575 southbound at Town Lake Parkway, exit 8. Smiling Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and mild today. High 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76. Back in the mid-80s by Friday.
56 degrees in Sandy Springs, 55 in Holly Springs, and Scottdale has 57 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah, the executive producer. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Bag of Donuts screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to go live to D.C., get the latest on the court action in the Abrego Garcia deportation case. 11:35, Kim Commando is going to talk tech with us. And right before Kim comes on, we're going to give away another amazing Yacht Rock Review prize pack. Tickets to see the amazing band at the Ameris Bank Amphitheater, and a pair of tickets to see a very intimate performance here at the WSB Live Lounge next Monday. Congrats to Emily in Atlanta, by the way. She won our first pair of tickets in the 9 o'clock hour. And as if this isn't enough, next week we start the bonus blitz again. So a couple of chances in the show for you to win $1,000 next week, courtesy of 95.5 WSB. I want to start. I've been teasing this all morning long. I'm really interested in this story. Joining us, covering this story from ABC News, our buddy Jim Ryan. Jim, good morning. It's estimated the year that Rain Man, right, that amazing Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise movie hit theaters. Back then, it was estimated 1 in 10,000 American children were diagnosed with autism, the then little understood developmental disability that complicated the life of the movie's main character, played by the aforementioned Hoffman. Nearly 40 years later, the CDC has released new figures showing that 1 in 31 kids now in the U.S. have some level of autism. What can we attribute to the rise in numbers, Jim?
Oh, well, it's either the rise in autism or the rise in diagnosis of autism. That's the big question. Is the incidence of this thing going up, or is simply it being recognized more? Probably a little of each. Now, just 5 years ago in 2020, the number was 1 in 36 kids diagnosed with autism or recognized as having autism. Now it's 1 in 31. So the number is going up, at least the number of recognized cases. But again, back in the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, it just wasn't really well recognized, certainly wasn't well diagnosed, and was oftentimes misdiagnosed for other things, or other sorts of disorders might have been lumped in with autism. I think it's a refinement of the actual diagnosis, the screening processes, and how cases like this are handled now.
Yeah, I remember in the 70s and 80s, I don't even remember hearing the word autism, but looking back now, it's pretty easy to point out, these kids in my class were on the spectrum in one way or another. There just wasn't a name for it back then.
No, you're right. And of course, because it is a spectrum, that means that some cases are quite severe, others are quite mild and barely recognizable. And that, I think, has complicated this process. And it's either included kids in the numbers of people with autism, or excluded some who should have been included in those numbers. Hard to say, but you're right. The diagnosis and the recognition has changed dramatically over the years. One of my relatives is almost 70 now and was diagnosed in the 1960s as autistic. autistic and has lived a pretty good life anyway, married and all the rest of it, has decent prospects, and I think a lot of people now do because of recognition.
Is there any way, Jim, to figure out if we see these rise in numbers, if autism is more prevalent now, or are they just getting better screening and diagnosis methods? Or is it an apples and oranges comparison?
Well, it's a great question. I think it's the chicken and the egg. Are there more cases, or is diagnosis becoming better and better? And maybe it's a little of both of those things. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Health and Human Services Secretary, has said that by September he wants to nail down the precise cause of autism. Medical researchers have been trying to do that for years. He's got several months to come up with some sort of answer to that. Beyond that, he says he wants to try to find a cure for it. RFK, of course, Mark, in the past has suggested that vaccines or vaccine prevalence was part of the reason for this phenomenon. He may have backed away from that somewhat. President Trump still has not. He says that vaccines might be behind it. The medical researchers since the 90s, though, have found no causal link between vaccines and autism.
The irony, of course, is that RFK Jr. Tasking the Atlanta-based CDC with coming up with a cure for autism after they've been just slammed with cuts by DOJ. But aside from the vaccine theory, have doctors or scientists or researchers come up with any plausible theory that they can point to and say this might cause autism, or are we still in the woods on all this?
Yeah, it's a great thing to try to research, something that they are still trying to narrow down. Is it something in the environment? Is it something in our genes? Is it some combination of genetics and the environment that is behind this whole thing? It's something they just haven't yet figured out. And in the meantime, you've got millions more cases being diagnosed all the time. Autism, we have to assume, has been around forever and ever, thousands of years, and yet just within the last 40 years, it's become something that's more firmly recognized and diagnosed and treated. At least the symptoms have been treated in a way that they weren't before. So we're still kind of in the infancy of this whole process.
Indeed, and certainly a very important story that we're going to continue to follow, of course, here with the Atlanta ties to the CDC. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Jim, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mark.
I should clarify my comments there. So the HHS Secretary, RFK Jr., tasking the CDC. The autism wing, if you will, or department of the CDC, I think went untouched by DOJ. I think the cuts were elsewhere. They left because they knew that was going to be a pet project of RFK Jr. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I think there were zero or minimal cuts to the autism department of the CDC, which of course is great news. But it raises the question, and I mentioned there with Jim, I wasn't familiar with the term autism in when I was in elementary school, we'll say. It wasn't a thing. We had, looking back, there were definitely kids that were on the spectrum, but there wasn't, it wasn't titled autism. So I don't know if we are truly seeing, because, when Rain Man was in the theaters, that was the 80s, right? 1 in 10,000 American kids had autism, and now it's 1 in 31. If you think the average class size of an elementary school or middle school or high school is 30 kids, that might be a little big, but let's just say that's 1 in every classroom. Did I have one autistic kid or someone that was on the spectrum in every one of my classes in elementary school and middle school and high school? Yeah, probably. Right? They weren't labeled autistic, but I think back and I'm like, yeah, there's probably one kid in every class that was on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form. Again, it's a broad spectrum, from mild to severe with different. So I don't know. Is there an increase, or is it just an increase in the number of testing and the diagnosis of it? You go back to COVID. President Trump was like, stop testing. That's why the numbers are going up, because you guys are testing for it. Is that the situation, or has there been a rapid increase in the amount and the number of autism cases? And if so, what is it? Is it genetics? Is it the environment? I know a lot of people will point to the measles shot, or what are those shots called?
Vaccines.
Yeah, vaccines. They'll point to vaccines. Now, every study that has been conducted show there's no link to vaccines causing autism. But if not vaccines, then what? What is it? Is it the stuff that is in our food now that never used to be in? I mean, I don't know. And, I have full faith that the researchers and the scientists and the doctors and the medical pros at the CDC, if given the proper runway and the proper funding, they could at least come up with some theories. Or is it just it's always been, and we just now test for it more often? I don't know. But I know I've got friends with kids that are, dealing with severe autism, and it's a huge thing for them. Like, their life revolves around their autistic child. And especially as they get closer to adulthood, what do you do with someone that's dealing with severe autism and can't leave home, that has to stay? I mean, I understand it's a huge issue. I have some friends. They have 3 kids, and I love them all. But I would wager all 3 are on the spectrum some way, shape, or form. Like, all 3. So at that point, do you point to, it's got to be genetics, right? Same mother, same father, and I don't know. Is it genetics? Is it the environment? Is it what we are putting in our bodies? Certainly something worth spending time on and research dollars for to try to get the bottom, because it has been a thing. And as Jim said, there were probably autistic cavemen, right? It's probably been around in our genetic code for eons.
We're just more aware of it now.
Is that it, though?
I think the awareness is there, and maybe now we know more about it, so we can address it more, I guess.
There was one, I remember one, again, I could point, if you go, all right, your 3rd grade class, Mrs. Croston's class, was one of the 30 kids on the spectrum. Absolutely. Jimmy V was definitely on the spectrum. I go to high school, home ec class, I forgot her name. Was there someone on the spectrum of those 30? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could point to him. There was one severe case that will always stick out for me. I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade, riding the bus to elementary school, and there's a kid down the street in my neighborhood who was probably in 2nd or 3rd grade, and he would always sit alone on the bus, and I kind of felt bad for him. So being as, when you're in 6th grade on the bus, and it's K through 6, like you're the the cool kid on the bus, and you're in charge. And I remember that no one would sit next to him and no one would talk to him. I'm like, I'm gonna go spend some time with this kid. And he was totally nonverbal. Like, I would sit down, hey, what's your name? My name's Mark. Nothing. And I didn't know what to call it. There was no, he wasn't like, little Frankie's autistic. It was just like, no, Frank doesn't talk. But I remember putting forth an effort because I felt bad for him. And it's like, when I was in 2nd grade, if a 6th grader talked to me on the bus, oh, man, forget about it. I was king for the day. Like, I can't believe that 6th grader just talked. And I tried, and I got nothing. And I often think about that kid today. But looking back, like, he was certainly on the spectrum, completely nonverbal. Interesting stuff. So best of luck to the folks at the CDC to try to find a cause and hopefully a cure to the rise in autism. At least the number of cases have gone up considerably. All right, is your blood pressure going up? Dealing with the roads this Wednesday morning. Let's go live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Smiling Mark McKay.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Work's being done near the airport, causing a slowdown. I-75 southbound. We see the right lane taken out on the jam cam. Work being done there. The barrels are up just before Forest Parkway, exit 232. So delays back into the I-285 interchange. This is also having an impact on 285 eastbound. The outer loop, that ramp is very slow heading 285 east to 75 south past that road work in the right lane. The northbound connector on the brakes leaving Langford Parkway. That's just slow traffic up to Midtown, thinning out the southbound ride into the city. Tap of the brakes 17th Street down past Georgia Tech and in northeast Atlanta, leaving Georgia 400, rolling toward I-75. This report sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
Well, what a blessing that is. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
From 95.5 WSB begins Monday, April 21st.
On 95.5 WSB. Download the WSB radio app now.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Rain means trouble for your roof, and when it does, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
It only happens once a year. It's always fun. It's our signature sign and drive event. All you got to do is sign and drive with no money down and no payments for 90 days. Plus, at Beaver Toyota, you'll receive exclusive Beaver benefits with your new car. Benefits like no-charge oil changes and car washes. And yes, even complimentary loaner cars and a lifetime powertrain warranty. It's our annual Sign and Drive event. Now, this is the way car buying should be. Only at Beaver Toyota. We're here to wow you.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
She wore blue velvet. Yes, I could have been a crooner like Bobby Vinton, who turns 90 years old today. Blue Velvet, one of his biggest hits. I'm not giving up my crooner dreams, Deborah. Blue. I just need lessons. You know, lessons make you better at everything. So I'll take crooner lessons maybe over the summer. Speaking of summer, we're about to have summer. We just ended spring break. Hope you folks enjoyed your spring break. One Florida city, though, says, please don't ever come back here for spring break.
Panama City Beach says they are done with spring break. The residents are tired of spring break antics that come every spring. It is a nice boon for the businesses, but it's also just a hassle with the noise, the mess, the bad behavior. Bay County Sheriff Tommy Ford says spring break no longer aligns with the values, the visions in the community. Now, they're not necessarily canceling it, but expect a lot larger police presence and fewer opportunities for those usual spring break fun.
Yeah, I mean, the horse is out of the cart, the horse out of the barn, the toothpaste is out of the tube, right? If you think of top spring break destinations for kids, that's number one, right? Panama City or Daytona Beach, maybe. Those two. I don't think you can end it, but you can do what Tybee Island did, right? Tybee Island there was some, what's that festival, Vinny? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Orange Crush at Tybee Island. And the residents, they enjoyed it at first, and then they were like, oh, this is too much. So then Tybee, had more law enforcement, but it didn't end. It's just lessened. I don't know what they can do. I don't know. I mean, Panama City, unless they start advertising on TikTok and like downgrading their city. Oh, Panama City's horrible. Kids don't come to Panama. There's the horse is out of the barn as far as spring break in Panama City. But I get it. It's a dual-edged sword. The economic boom for sure. You get 8 college kids renting a single hotel room. Like, how can you turn down that economic boom?
And now that you tell them they can't go, they're going to want
even more. Exactly right. That's a smart dad right there. All right. So Panama. Listen, there's a million places you can go to for spring break. It doesn't have to be Panama City. All right, Sabrina's standing by with news, weather, and traffic. Let me peek at the markets. Dow's down $1.98, Nasdaq down 300. So a little down start to the Wall Street. Dow's still up over 40K, though, so I'm happy about that. When we come back, movement in the court cases regarding Abrego Garcia. We're going to go live to D.C. Aaron Navarro from CBS going to get us caught up to date on that story. Social media is completely active during the broadcast at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at Myland. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. And that means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at Myland. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at Myland. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. Myland's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give Myland a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769, located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want to audition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. The Cobb County Sheriff's Office fires a criminal justice specialist after he's arrested on child sex charges. Police say Ivan Munoz was arrested this morning following an investigation by Marietta Police. He's been charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. Going to be a beautiful day today. Sunny skies and mild, highs around 71, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A South Fulton police officer is killed in a head-on collision.
The Georgia State Patrol is investigating the crash on Flat Shoals Road at Connell Road, where initial reports indicate Lieutenant Helio Garcia was driving his department-issued vehicle while on duty when another car veered into his lane and struck his vehicle head-on. He died from his injuries a short time later at the hospital. South Fulton Police Chief Keith Meadows says in a statement that Lieutenant Garcia was more than a colleague, he was family, and his department will carry his memory with him in every shift, every call, and every act of service. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Now to Sandy Springs.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The amendment is adopted.
A new safety action plan is passed. City council members say it's an effort to end traffic deaths involving drivers, pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit riders by the year 2040. The plan includes more crosswalks, sidewalks, and traffic calming areas. Data shows more than 27,000 wrecks were reported in Sandy Springs over the past 5 years. If you're having problems with Spotify, you're not alone. It's experiencing an outage this morning. More than 40,000 users reporting having issues accessing the music streaming service. Spotify status account posting on X that, quote, "We are aware of some issues right now and are checking them out." Google is pushing a security update to Android phones that will automatically reboot the phone if it's locked for 3 straight days. Apple rolled out the same feature last year. The idea is by encrypting data that can only be accessed through a user's passcode, it will make it more difficult for someone to get into a phone using a forensic analysis device. Today's the last day to register for a program that provides intensive college prep for metro area students, and it also helps future teachers get their start. It's called Breakthrough Atlanta, and it provides a tuition-free college prep program starting in middle school. Monique Shields with the program, she says it gives college students classroom experience as they look to begin their teaching careers.
They help us to serve 500 middle and high schoolers every year, and then also about 60 college students through our teaching fellowship.
And she says there is a desperate need. Metro area school districts are down by about 600 teachers at the start of the school year. Deadline to register for this program is tonight. She says you can register at breakthroughatlanta.org. As the Trump administration looks at slapping tariffs on imports of pharmaceuticals, pharmacy owners are worried.
For us, it's not going to be a good sign.
Some drugstore owners nationwide are reportedly stockpiling medicines now. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow down 226 at 40,142, so the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is down almost 2%, and the S&P is down more than a full percent. It's 10:33. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We turn now to Smile and Mark McKay.
Still some aggravation, Sabrina, out of Alpharetta on 400 southbound, south of Old Milton Parkway. Looks like a crash went to the shoulder below Holcomb Bridge, exit 7 in Roswell. Leftover slow traffic as you work your way between Old Milton Parkway and Holcomb Bridge Road. 85 is still stacked up out of Duluth into Norcross. Worst of that's going to be leaving Highway 316 past Pleasant Hill Road. Back in the downtown Atlanta where you're on the brakes hard. 75-85 northbound at University Avenue, exit 244, until you clear John Lewis Freedom Parkway. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, heating up to the mid-80s on Friday under a sunny sky.
It is 57 degrees in Kennesaw and Johns Creek. Here in Midtown Atlanta, we have 58 degrees. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It's the only way to do any kind of reform of the federal government.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I don't remember.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Who are you speaking for?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Our family is torn apart during this scary time. And our children miss their dad so much.
We've heard from the wife now of Abrego Garcia. We've also heard from the judge in the case, the deportation case to El Salvador. We go live to D.C. for the latest on that story next on The Mark Arum Show.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's best choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
O'Reilly.
Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Noonan on Summerlin Boulevard next to Kroger, now through April 29th for the grand opening sale. You'll get 2 times O Rewards points on select purchases, including 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil to get to your next reward twice as fast. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your new O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
10:37, an absolutely gorgeous Wednesday morning here in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. An hour from now, talking tech with Kim Commando and giving away another amazing prize pack to see not once but twice Yacht Rock Review. We'll continuously update our top local stories, but let's go back to the case of Abrego Garcia, hearing more from his wife yesterday.
If you stand up and want to protest, if you want
That's
to
Marjorie
shout
Taylor
and chant,
Greene. I apologize. This is the wife of Abrego Garcia.
As we continue through Holy Week, my heart aches for my husband, who should have been here leading our Easter prayers. Instead, I find myself pleading with the Trump administration and the Bukele administration to stop playing political games. with the life of Kilmer.
So there we heard from the wife. We also heard from the judge in the case covering the story. White House correspondent for CBS News, Aaron Navarro, joins us live in the show. Aaron, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with you.
Some heart-wrenching stuff there from the wife of the deportee in El Salvador. What happened in the court yesterday, and what did the judge say about this case?
Yeah, during the hearing in Maryland yesterday, a federal judge said in order that there would be a, quote, expedited discovery within the next 2 weeks to hear on oath what the U.S. government is doing to bring back Abrego Garcia. This judge ordered depositions from several immigration officials to be completed by April 23, and she was pretty explicit in it. Said, quote, cancel vacation, cancel appointments. She wants it done by then. And talking about the Oval Office meeting earlier this week with President Trump and President Bukele of El Salvador, she called on the White House to stop the, quote, gamesmanship. She went after the Department of Justice lawyers for not fulfilling the order she had in the first place to bring him back, and said she's gotten no real response from the government. So all of this to kind of pressure the Department of Justice, the Trump administration's lawyers, to say explicitly what they're doing, what they've attempted to do to bring Abrego Garcia back.
You know, the Justice Department and the attorneys in this case have pretty much been stonewalling the judge and the DOJ as well. What are the odds that they don't comply with these the orders from the judge yesterday?
So I'll say now, at this moment, the Department of Justice does seem to indicate that they will cooperate with this expedited discovery ask. That being said, there have been lots of twists and turns regarding the Department of Justice and the argument against it, with one DOJ attorney that said they were not getting much information from the Trump administration being let go in recent days. The Trump administration as a whole has been defiant in their response. They argue they can only remove domestic obstacles that would impede Abrego Garcia's return. They said the federal courts cannot direct the executive branch to conduct foreign relations in a particular way. But certainly the Department of Justice lawyers are indicating they'll cooperate, at least with this expedited discovery bit.
Critics of the Trump administration saying that they are defying the Supreme Court's 9-0 decision, but Attorney General Pam Bondi says they are living up to what the Supreme Court said. Was it just a too vague of a reading from the Supreme Court, and could we eventually see this go back to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, so the Supreme Court, for lack of a better word, split the baby on the decision. They said 9-0 that the U.S. should, quote, facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia, upholding what the lower court said. But the lower court had one line about, the effectuating the return of him. And that's where the Supreme Court left some pretty vague language saying that the judge should specify what that actually means, what they're asking the executive branch to do. You're seeing, at least from the Trump administration, not necessarily DOJ officials yet, really question this judge, question the attention paid to this case in the first place. So I would not be surprised if there's another stalemate between the lower court and the Trump administration, and this gets back to the Supreme Court.
Aaron Navarro from CBS News joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. If you don't mind, just, the backstory about Abrego Garcia. He is from El Salvador, was here in the country, obviously married with kids. We heard from his wife. There was a court order that prevented him from being deported. What was the backstory on that court order that said he should not be deported back to El Salvador?
Yeah, this was a protection, legal protection he was granted in 2019 that forbid immigration authorities from removing him to his home country of El Salvador, claiming that he would be in danger there. And that's kind of been at the crux of the Trump administration's argument and potentially that clerical error. Because they deported him without revoking that legal status, known as a withholding or removal, that has really kind of muddled their case in regards to calling Abrego Garcia a member of MS-13, which the evidence of that has been debated as well. So certainly that one lack of action in terms of reopening the immigration case for Abrego Garcia could be the basis of his eventual return. But just to underscore, what we've heard from President Trump and President Bukele of El Salvador is at least at the top level, there's not a huge appetite to facilitate the return of him back to Maryland.
There was also a court case, I believe it was an immigration court, where I don't know if it was ICE or Department of Homeland Security that presented a theory that Abrego Garcia was affiliated with a gang. So there were basically two separate instances in the court, one saying, hey, he is part of an illegal gang activity, and another saying, hey, don't deport him. So basically there's two legal precedents before this whole deportation happened?
Well, that specific case dealt with the evidence I mentioned that has been debated. It was submitted by a confidential informant, and the immigration judge, didn't rule concretely that he was a member of MS-13. They just said that evidence should be, kept at least in court in his record. But it's all tied to his 2019 case, but the administration is particularly looking at what judges have said about MS-13, at least in their public messaging, to justify Abrego Garcia's deportation in the first place.
Forgive me if you don't know the answer to this, Aaron. Who is representing Abrego Garcia in this case, and have we heard from the defense attorneys after the court hearings yesterday?
Well, we heard from his wife, and you played a little bit of her sound. She said at the hearing she called on the Trump administration to, quote, stop playing games with the life of her husband, said his American dream was shattered, and obviously called on him to be returned. But also specifically referencing the federal judge's order, she said it's time to see exactly how this will be fulfilled. The other thing in regards to Abrego Garcia's case that we're watching today is this Maryland Senator Van Hollen that is in El Salvador. It's unclear necessarily what he can accomplish, whether he's just looking to visit and see him, and whether he will be allowed into that Supermax prison in the first place. But at least in terms of what we're hearing from the White House, there's been a lot of criticism of that Democratic politician instead of necessarily looking at the merits of this case.
Yeah, and as we heard from the President of the United States and the President of El Salvador, they both saying there's nothing we can do. We wipe our hands of the situation. Aaron Navarro, CBS News Live in D.C. Aaron, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Obviously, if there are any developments on that, I'm dubious that the DOJ is going to comply with this federal judge. What she requested yesterday, said, don't take any vacations. We're going to hammer this down over the next 2 weeks. I don't see anything that would indicate that they're going to get complete compliance on that as directed by the head of the DOJ. Talked about this the other day. The trial of Meta, parent company of Facebook, has co-founder Mark Zuckerberg on the stand for a second day. At issue whether the Federal Trade Commission should consider Zuckerberg's purchase of Instagram an attempt to corner the social app market. And the antitrust case in D.C. might bring about a significant fine or force Meta to give up Instagram, which is valuable and a very popular phone app. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scherr is following the case for us.
As part of his testimony on Tuesday, Zuckerberg was asked to revisit some of the emails he sent to top lieutenants at Facebook around the time that the company bought Instagram. And those emails clearly show that Facebook saw a competitive threat with Instagram. But Zuckerberg argued that buying it would make more sense, saying that it is very hard to build an app, and many of Facebook's other apps over the years have failed.
Now, I'm not defending Zuckerberg or Meta, but obviously buying Instagram was a huge, huge win for them. Right, Deborah, do you remember the infancy of Instagram when it first launched? It was basically, I mean, it's nothing the way it is now. It was basically you could post pictures and have like old-timey filters on them. That was it. That was it. And whatever Zuckerberg or the heads of state of Meta, they saw an opportunity and they bought it early on. And it is, I mean, gosh, it's more popular than Facebook, I bet. It's huge.
Absolutely.
But they've also swung and missed on a bunch of stuff. Like, is it Snapchat that they own? Like,
no. WhatsApp.
Did they buy MySpace? Who bought MySpace? Like,
no, MySpace is separate.
That is separate.
Threads, don't they?
Yeah,
Threads. They have Threads.
They started that. I don't think they bought that. But I know for a fact there have been startups that Meta purchased that just landed flat on their face. Mm-hmm. So I'm not defending them, but you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
There you go.
The facts of life. Anyway, we'll monitor that. I don't. I'm not going to make a prediction on this, but I think it's going to be tough to show that Meta's got a monopoly when you've got TikTok out there, which is probably the biggest of all the apps. You've got Twitter out there, X, if you will. You've got all the Blueski, which I'm on, by the way, with like 0 followers. No, I don't know what it is. I guess people are anti-Blue Sky. I post the same junk on that as I do on everything else. So if you're on Blueski, find me there at Mark Arum, Markarum. All right, let's check the ride around town. Back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, the one and only Smile and Mark McKay.
Thank you, Mark. We do have road work done underway right now. Won't be done until early afternoon, so plan for it near the airport, 285 East, the outer loop, trying to ramp onto I-75 South. Right at the end of the ramp, we see on the jam cam work being done in the right lane before Forest Parkway. Still a difficult go of it into downtown Atlanta on the northbound side of the connector, seeing those brake lights from 166 Langford Parkway up to John Lewis Freedom Parkway, and still a slow roll out of Alpharetta, leaving Old Milton Parkway into Roswell at Holcomb Bridge Road, and your 85 delays in Gwinnett County still in place from Highway 316 past Pleasant Hill. Smile and Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News, we'll cover the renaming of Fort Benning. And Scott Slate's Georgia This Week checking in with an old friend and favorite coach. We start at 5 a.m. on 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Mark Arum here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. I can't tell you how much I love these folks. Protecting the Arum household inside and out, friendly customer service. They get the job done right, and it's guaranteed. Pests, not a problem at the Arum household anymore because Breda is better at beating bugs. Just ask my wife. And you know what? They do it right, protecting the outside and inside of your home. If your current company, by the way, claims to protect your home from pests, shouldn't that include your actual home and not just your yard? It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. And inside your home is where your current company doesn't go anymore. So if your pest control company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda Pest Management to protect the outside and inside of your home. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Now open at 54 Bullsboro Drive, Home Outlet Noonan. Break up with your big box store and discover a better way to tackle home improvement. Employee-owned Home Outlet delivers the guaranteed lowest prices on a wide selection of quality in-stock kitchens, baths, floors, and more. Take advantage of our free services, including expert kitchen planning and accurate estimates for baths, floors, doors, and windows. Shop in-store or online at homeoutlet.com.
Home Outlet is your home store.
If you've been in a motorcycle accident, move swiftly to protect your rights. It's Eric Von Hessler, and I recommend Steel Horse Law, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They're 100% local, the only firm that's a major part of the North Georgia motorcycle community. At your next local bike night, ride, or charity event, stop by their booth and say hello. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Request a free Rider's Advantage card at steelhorselaw.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save more with our weekly digital deals. Select boxes of Nabisco Ritz crackers are only $1.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it rains, you need to make sure your home is protected from the ground up. That means starting in your crawl space. Water in your crawl space can lead to problems in your house. Crawl space issues? Visit aquaguard.net today and book a free inspection. Remember, AquaGuard.
Rhino Shield is better than paint because it will keep your home beautiful, and it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
Get a free estimate at rhinoshieldga.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
My name is Alan. I'm Charlie's brother. I live on his fold-out couch. I'm sorry. I'll drive you back.
That's John Cryer. Alan Harper on 2.5 Men. Mr. Cryer turned 60 years old today. I remember him as Ducky, right? Wasn't he Ducky? Yeah. What is it? Pretty in Pink? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink. Ducky.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I have never seen a single episode of 2.5 Men. I know of it. I know it's extremely popular.
What, really?
Not one.
Nope.
I've never seen an episode of that or How I Met Your Mother.
Me either.
Or, there's so many of these shows that I know are hugely popular, but I've never seen. I've seen clips like Charlie Sheen and 2.5 Men and memes about him, but I've never seen that show. I did watch a show, and I'm sad to say I cannot give the Mark Aram Show endorsement or my personal endorsement to The Residence on Netflix. Have you seen this?
No.
It's a whodunit. It's a mystery whodunit. Someone was murdered at the White House, and it's the premise is amazing. The acting is amazing, and I don't know if it's just I'm not up to date on the whodunit kind of, but it was 8 episodes long, and it was exhausting. I mean, this could have been a 2-hour movie. Would have been great. I only finished it just because I wanted to see who was the killer, right? But it was exhausting. Way too long. 8 episodes. It could have been a 90-minute movie or a 2-hour movie, and I would be like, the acting was phenomenal and the great premise, but apparently, I'm guessing that they came up with this thing and they got the Netflix deal and they're like, all right, it's going to be 4 episodes, half-hour each. And Netflix is like, no, we need 8 episodes, dude. And they're like, oh, dang, we got to stretch this thing out. I'm sad to say I had high hopes for The Residence. I cannot recommend it. And maybe that's just not my bag, baby, those whodunits. But it was absolutely exhausting watching that. I only finished it for you folks, so I can come on the air and say, don't be exhausted unless that's your thing. Unless you absolutely adore it, I cannot recommend The Residence on Netflix, and it's a shame because it was a great idea, like a murder mystery at the White House. That wasn't the president or anyone that died, but it was one of the White House staff, and I'm exhausted just thinking about it, just talking about it. Don't watch The Residence, I promise you. If you disagree, hit me up on social media. But I mean, it was like I was running a marathon finishing this thing, just dragging out. Just give me who was the killer. They eventually, you know what? Just watch the last episode. Actually, if it was a one episode, watch the first episode and the last episode, and you won't be exhausted. Let's check the markets for you on this Wednesday. Good consumer news came out when it came to retail sales. All the indices down. Dow's down $1.80, Nasdaq's down 335. But as we found out, it is still early in the trading day. When we come back, Georgia cold case I want to talk about. A famed, probably the most popular American right now, might get an airport named after them. We'll tell you that, and we'll update our top local stories. So much more to come. Social medias, by the way, at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Arum here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the Big Wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Okay, so should high-speed chases be allowed? Well, some lawmakers and community advocates want to change the State Patrol's pursuit policy after a fatal crash caused by a chase in Little Five Points.
It happened earlier this week as a state trooper chased a driver down Moreland Avenue. That driver went through a red light during the chase, hitting and killing an innocent 19-year-old from DeKalb County. The National Police Accountability Project says it believes this is just the latest in a pattern of tragic crashes caused by pursuits. They're calling for an end to high-speed chases, but also want restrictions like requiring approval from a supervisor before starting a pursuit. They're meeting today at the site of this week's accident. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Sunny skies today and mild afternoon highs around 70, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. An employee with the Cobb County Sheriff's Office has been fired and arrested and is facing some very serious charges this morning.
The suspect was a criminal justice specialist for the Sheriff's Department, where he had been employed since 2000.
44-year-old Ivan Soto Muniz is now booked in and being housed in the Cobb County Adult Detention Center without bond.
Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police says Munoz is charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. He says Munoz was a family friend of the 8-year-old female victim in this case. She came forward to share her story with leaders at her church. That prompted the swift investigation and arrest. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
All right, now let's head to Rome. Pope Francis meeting with a group of about 70 doctors and staff who helped him during his stay in the hospital recently.
Grazie. Grazie. The
Pope was hospitalized for 38 days for a respiratory infection that resulted in bilateral pneumonia. The Pope expressed his gratitude and personally greeted them, saying that he would be praying for them and asked for their prayers in return. New CDC data today shows autism rates are on the rise, with around 1 in every 31 children being diagnosed. That's up from 1 in 36 back in 2020. Later today, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is set to hold a news briefing to address what he calls an epidemic of cases. 3 people arrested, several ejected last night from a town hall meeting in Ackworth. It was held by Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If you want to sit and listen
listen, you're welcome to listen. Everyone across the aisle.
One man was dragged out by 4 police officers. Police say 3 people in all are now facing charges, including obstruction of officers. Now, your money. Consumers are spending. Jim Ryan has a look at the latest report on retail sales. He says Americans may be concerned about inflation, but they're still opening up their wallets.
In fact, say analysts, concern over U.S. trade policies is likely sending more consumers into the marketplace before new tariffs on imported goods take effect. The Census Bureau says its advance estimate on retail sales in March showed a dramatic 1.4% increase from the previous month at a massive 4.6% surge from March of 2024.
And as we take a look at the markets, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P are all in the red. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams. He's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, watching a few brake lights left over out of Alpharetta into Roswell and Sandy Springs, 400 southbound. A little slow south of Haynesbridge Road, passing Holcomb Bridge Road. Down on the south side, you got that construction on the I-285 ramps to I-75 south there in Clayton County. Right lane of that ramp is blocked. That's why you're seeing 285 eastbound delays back through those airport tunnels. And downtown, 75-85 northbound, still trying to shake off the morning drive commute. Seeing the brake lights from University Avenue, but brakes free the closer you get to Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies and mild today. High 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, back in the mid-80s by Friday.
It is 61 degrees in Brookhaven. Tucker and Douglasville, you both have 60 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew, bending your ears for the next 54 minutes. 54 minutes left in this Wednesday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Coming up in 30 minutes, Kim Commando is going to join us live talking all things tech, and Deborah's going to give away another amazing prize pack to see Yacht Rock Review, not only on April 26th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, but also next Monday here at the WSB Radio Studios and the WSB Live Lounge for an intimate little performance. I'll be there. We'll do a Q&A. It's going to be amazing. Your chance to win that exclusive prize pack coming up in 30 minutes on the Mark Arum Show. I have an update on the U.S.-Iran talks in a Georgia cold case, but first a quick update, Deborah. Yesterday on the show, we were just stunned that Vinny Drip and Lil Gnocchi, the younger members of the Mark Arum Show staff, not only had never tried Chunky Soup, but had never heard of Chunky Soup. And we were flabbergasted. So after the show yesterday, I went to Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, and picked up a variety pack of Chunky Soups. Now, I just picked up the ones that you can microwave. I didn't get the big cans, and I wasn't mean. I didn't get them split pea with ham and clam chowder. I got chicken noodle and chicken dumplings, whatever. Nice. But also, Deborah, this morning, Ashley on the digital desk, another youngin', she had never heard or tried Chunky Soup. So as soon as Gnocchi gets in, Vinny, let me know, and we're going to do a little taste test so you guys can. It's Chunky Soup, the soup that eats like a meal.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's generational. Even Alex asked me, he said, what did I eat in college? I'm going ramen.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Chunky Soup is, there's nothing more American than Chunky Soup. So we'll get your initial reaction a little bit later on in the show. I do want to update the U.S.-Iran talks, which really came out of nowhere. The head of the UN nuclear watchdog is expected to visit Iran today as Washington and Tehran prepare for a second round of high-stakes talks. CBS News senior former correspondent Elizabeth Palmer reports from London on if any progress has been made in those talks.
Weekend had good music. Both sides said that the talks were productive, but there is a rock and a hard place here. The U.S. envoy, Steve Witkoff, has shifted his stance, apparently. Originally, he said, well, Iran could keep enriching uranium for civilian use, power generation. Now he's saying Tehran must stop and eliminate its nuclear enrichment program completely.
So that's the key issue. And as we here in the United States, we're seeing all-time record gas and oil production. But moving forward, and we see it here in Georgia with the Vogtle plant, nuclear energy might be the key to the future. And ending reliance on any other foreign oil, et cetera. Plus, with all the oil and gas we're doing. So I can understand why Iran's like, hey, we want to have a nuclear power plant. Like, well, let us do that. And Witkoff apparently was in favor of that as long as they dropped any desire for a nuclear weapon program, but an about face there. We'll see what those talks are. Again, I did not see any of these talks coming. President Trump, of course, famously pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal in his first term, and I thought he'd be more focused on the Russia-Ukraine talks and the Israel-Hamas talks. I did not see this coming on the Iran-U.S. talks when it comes to the nuclear program there, but certainly a story worth monitoring. All right, Deborah, tell me about this Georgia cold case.
A North Georgia couple has been arrested in connection with a 24-year-old cold case murder in Bartow County. Police arrested Gary and Mary Fowler, both of them in their 70s, for the 2001 murder of Travis Silvers. Authorities haven't revealed what evidence led to the breakthrough in the case after all these years, and the relationship between the Fowlers and Silver remains unclear as well, as does the alleged motive for the killing. Officers also haven't disclosed the cause of death or whether the Fowlers were suspects during the original investigation.
All right, so I don't remember that cold case at all until Deborah sent me the story today. And obviously, you know, I feel for the family who lost this person. But I just trying to think, like the couple that was arrested, Deborah, was in their mid-70s, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if my parents were arrested, like, Connecticut cold case, Ed and Alice Aram arrested for the murder of blah, blah, blah in Waterbury back in 1983. Like, that would blow my mind. Can you imagine your parents or your grandparents, 40 years later or whatever, how long it was after the cold case, get the knock on the door and the FBI's there and be like, hey, you're under arrest for the murder back in 1987. Can you imagine your grandpa that's the conversation going on in the family unit there is like, did you have any idea? Can you imagine, again, innocent until proven guilty, et cetera, et cetera. But with the DNA advancements, and as I mentioned earlier in the show, all the technological advances that law enforcement have at their fingertips, I bet there are a ton of 70 and 80-year-olds going, oh no, like I've been free and clear for 40 years now, and now I'm going to get popped because of DNA evidence. Like I gave my DNA to 23andMe, and now I'm going to be arrested for a murder I committed back in 1968. I can't even imagine. Again, I feel for the family of the victim first and foremost, but the family of the seniors that were arrested for a cold case murder, right? Like, they're supposed to go to Easter dinner Sunday at Grandma and Grandpa's. Explain to the grandkids, why aren't we going to Grandma's for Easter? Well, Johnny, back in 1983, Grammy and Grampy had an argument with a neighbor, and they killed him. And they just got caught. So we're not going to do Easter at Grandma's house. We're going to do it here. But Grammy makes the best ham. That's insane. I bet there are some seniors right now going, we've gotten away with it 35 years. Technological advancements are catching up. Let's retire to a country that doesn't have an indictment or an extradition treaty with the United States. Let's just play it safe. Because, they're seeing these stories on the news and going, oh, my goodness, that could be us. That could be us. All right, from a cold case murder suspect who I think is a universally beloved person, perhaps getting an amazing honor in her name. I'll let you fill in the details, Deborah.
Here's a petition I might actually sign. At change.org, there is a petition to change the name of Nashville International Airport after the country singer Dolly Parton. Comedian Lydia Popovich noted that less than 5% of the world's airports are named after women, so why not Dolly Parton? The petition has so far amassed more than 50,000 signatures and was even featured on the change.org official Instagram page.
Is that the biggest honor you can get? Is having an airport named after you? Like, Ronald Reagan Airport. Is there a George Bush Airport in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas, yeah.
Like, I mean, you think airports at, Hartsfield-Jackson International, right? Is there a bigger honor than having an airport named after you? And not like a little private runway, but a big international airport. Like, Nashville's a really busy airport. I can't think of a bigger honor than having an airport named after you. Who would say no to Dolly Parton? I wonder if there are rules that you have to be Probably not. You have to be deceased in order to have an airport named after you.
One.
Say it again, Deborah.
I said Bush already had an airport years ago.
And he was
wasn't
alive.
Deceased. Yeah.
Okay, so it's still possible. But Dolly's so genteel and polite. She probably would decline it. Be like, no, don't name the airport after me. Name it after someone else. Right? She's so deferential in that way. But I'm on board. Where are you flying out of? Dolly Parton. They got two of the biggest gates in airport history. No, that was not right. More tariff news and impact on production here in the United States. And it revolves around electronic vehicles. What's the latest with GM, Deborah?
GM is temporarily shutting down 2 of its EV factories. About 700 GM employees are going to be temporarily unemployed as the company adjusts to the lower than expected demand. This affects factories in Detroit and Ingersoll, Ontario. 200 of the 4,500 employees who work at the Factory Zero plant, that one's in Detroit, they're going to be laid off. And then GM is also stopping production at its Cami assembly facilities in Ingersoll, and they're planning to lay off 500 workers. The company says these temporary job losses were a result of the disheartening dip in sales for its all-electric delivery vans, but in the upcoming weeks, GM wants to prep the facility to produce its all-new line of 2026 electric vehicles.
Yeah, so the layoffs there more around the EV market than it would be the tariffs that are going to eventually impact the automotive industry. So it's not tariff-related cuts. It's more of an EV market cut, right? The dip in EV sales. Mm-hmm. That's the way I read that story.
Yeah.
I didn't see this coming. I don't know, Longoria, if you buy Legos internationally, are you that far advanced in your?
Yeah, I mean some of the pick-a-brick parts come from Europe, so yeah, you have to bring them from there.
Of course, the pick-a-brick part. So on occasion, I will buy and sell baseball cards to people in Japan, China, a lot in Japan because it's a big baseball country. But I've also bought cards from people in China. And the delivery takes long and the shipping's more expensive. But that you can get some great cards that you can't get in the United States there. Apparently now, and I don't know, I got to check with my baseball card sources. Apparently I can't buy a baseball card and have it shipped from Hong Kong. Apparently there's a delivery there.
Tariffs are hitting the mail, too. Hong Kong Post is suspending mail service by the sea to the U.S. and will also suspend its airmail postal service for items containing goods from April 27th due to what they are calling bullying tariffs. Now, if you're just mailing a letter or documents, you're okay, but any goods or packages, you can expect a fee tacked on them. Hong Kong Post says its suspension was due to the U.S. government's elimination of the de minimis exemption and the increase in tariffs for postal items from Hong Kong containing goods to the U.S.
So right now on my eBay page, and I'm not going to promote it, but I sell baseball cards on my eBay page, and I allow international shipping because I have sold sizable cards to folks in Asia a number of times. But now I wonder if I should not ship to China. Am I going to get hit with a tariff on, let's say I'll sell a $500 baseball card to a collector in Beijing or Hong Kong? Is that going to be tariffed now when that comes in? I mean, I'm not manufacturing anything. This is all second level sales. But is there going to be 125% tariff on this card that I'm selling to someone in Hong Kong? And who pays that tariff? I guess he would pay that. I don't know. But it's hit the baseball card industry in a number of ways. I know there's like 7 people that care what I'm talking about when it comes to baseball cards, but any sort of hobby that you have, PSA, I mentioned this, they're the number one grader of collectibles. They will not take submissions from anywhere in Canada anymore because of the tariff threats. So you never know what the tariffs are going to do. We've been spending a lot of time on how the tariffs impact you and me as consumers. Tomorrow on the show, Deborah's booked a great guest on how the tariffs are impacting small businesses here in the United States. I briefly talked about it yesterday, but we haven't really talked about the bigger businesses, the Apples and the Fords and the GMs. Like, they have the size and scale to absorb some of these tariff costs, but small businesses they don't have the resources to do it, and they might be impacted. So we're going to have an expert on tomorrow on the show to talk about the tariff impact on small businesses, specifically here in the Metro Atlanta area. Speaking of Metro Atlanta, traffic is usually bad the closer we get to lunchtime. Let's get the latest live in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Alex Williams.
And right now, Mark, we are watching that construction on the south side, 75 southbound. It's on the ramps from 285 to 75 south down by the airport, so it's causing 285 eastbound delays back through those airport tunnels. Also, if you're traveling downtown, DOT's checking the new slow zone, 75-85 southbound, right around North Avenue, and traveling up through Buckhead, maybe toward the lunch hour, heads up for construction in the 2 right lanes on Peachtree Road northbound at Farr Road, causing brake lights back toward East Wesley. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Beaver Direct Certified, providing the highest quality vehicles at the very best prices. Every vehicle undergoes rigorous reconditioning with an industry-leading 12-month, 12,000-mile certified warranty. Visit us at beavertoyotacumming.com and see why everyone loves Beaver Direct.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
That spot on the ceiling, it's only gonna get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker from my experts at Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Findlay now has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get your roof replaced. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers, but in my case, they brought unwanted pests. Just last week, I noticed the mosquitoes were taking over my backyard and the carpenter bees swarming my outdoor deck. I knew I needed help, so I called Arrow Exterminators. Ken, my Arrow team member, didn't just provide a solution. He gave me peace of mind with their Arrow Exterminators friendly and effective treatments. Arrow Exterminators has been a family-owned business for over 61 years, so they really treat you like part of the family. They even offer a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Plus, you can get a free home or business pest inspection to stay ahead of any pest problems. Thanks to Ken and Arrow Exterminators, my family can enjoy our backyard again. So don't wait for the pests to settle in. Take back your yard this spring. Call 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com. And when you do, be sure to tell them Belinda sent ya.
O'Reilly. Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Newnan on Summerlin Boulevard next to Kroger now through April 29th for the grand opening sale. Get 2 times O-Rewards points on all Armor All wipes. Plus receive 2 times points on Valvoline Flex-Fill Gear Oil, which means you can reach your next $5 reward twice as fast. Right now at your new O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Social Security is about more than retirement accounts. It's about honoring a fundamental trust between government and people.
You recognize that voice? You probably do. That's former President Joe Biden addressing a national conference focused on the needs of the disabled. That was his first major speech since leaving office. Biden addressing fears about Social Security and funding fights in Washington. To be honest, I didn't hear the whole speech. I just heard a couple of clips. But I would imagine in the Democratic Party halls of power, in the back rooms, no one is happy about Joe Biden getting on a political stage anymore. Right? You heard? Let me play a little bit just to...
Social Security is more than a government program. It's a sacred promise. We made it today, a sacred promise.
All right, I mean, he seemed fired up there. He was well rested, but right, Democrats have to be cringing at that, going, no, go retire to Rehoboth Beach. We can't have you be the face of the Democratic Party anymore. That's just a reminder of you know, why they lost the election so soundly in November. I bet his phone, and he might be doing just because he's mad at everyone for getting him off the ballot. He's probably still ornery about that. But I can only imagine that Democrats are going, Joe Biden, get off stage. Anyway, maybe Erickson will talk about that. I would imagine that any Democratic politician coast to coast is like, no, get off the stage. All right, do we have time for this? Vinny and Gnocchi just coming in. Quick taste test. This is the first time they've ever tasted Chunky Soup by Campbell's, the soup that eats like a meal. Vinny's got the chicken and dumplings, and Gnocchi's got the chicken noodle. Vinny, you took the first taste, and? No flavor. Not like Grandma's?
Which one did he pick? Which
he had chicken and dumplings, and Gnocchi has chicken noodle. How's the chicken noodle, Gnocchi?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, it could use some more seasonings and maybe some
There's
hot
like
sauce.
a year's worth of salt in there.
What? Oh, I need some pepper or something.
All right.
I don't know. But it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Gnocchi doesn't mind it. Vinny, no? Not
it's
a fan?
too runny.
All right. It's too runny. It's soup. It's soup.
I mean, what did you expect it to be thick because it was chunky? I guess you can't hear me. But
Well, get to the bottom of the.
Here, I'm trying to stir mine.
Get some of those good dumplings in there. You're not even eating the dumpling, Vinny. Oh, it's too hot. Anyway, I can't believe you guys have never even heard of Chunky Soup.
But this is good.
Chunky Soup, the soup that eats like a meal. All right, Vinny says
I don't know
thumbs
what
down.
salt
Gnocchi
you-
says thumbs up. But I
appreciate it.
It's my pleasure
Yeah,
to
good lunch.
to
I might appreciate it.
broaden your food horizons. All right, good job, guys. All right, Sabrina standing by with news, weather, and traffic. When we return, we're going to talk tech with Kim Commando, and we're going to give away another amazing prize pack. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on April 26th, and you get a chance for a little private concert-ette at the WSB Live Lounge next Monday after the Mark Arum Show. I'll be there hosting. We'll do a Q&A. Phenomenal prize pack. Your chance to win coming up next on 95.5 WSB.
you're in the market as a home buyer or seller, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of options. Should you find a company to buy your home, or accept a guaranteed cash offer, or do a traditional sale? Each of these has an upside, and each has a downside. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, founder of Clario Real Estate. My team and I can offer all of these, and we help our clients sort through these choices every day. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the next 6 to 12 months, we can give you clarity so you can decide with confidence. My team and I are the experts. We have helped hundreds of families move and are ranked in the top 5% nationally. At Clario Real Estate, we can provide clarity on the best approach for you. Oh, and I'm also the real estate expert and host of the show Inside Georgia Real Estate, airing right here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. for more. Clario Real Estate. Real clarity, real certainty for the real value of your home.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
You ever walk into a business and look around and go, oh, these people know what they're doing. This is a classy operation. This is top notch. This is the best of the best. I had that experience the first time I walked into Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back for my friends at Advanced Hair. Top flight facility, top flight medical pros, and most importantly, top flight results. Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. It's a quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, guaranteed to grow for life. Guys, if you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need that free consultation. Schedule now. 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Ivan Munoz, a civilian employee at the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, has been arrested today and charged with 2 counts of aggravated child molestation. Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police telling us.
An 8-year-old had the courage to come forward to her church and share with adults there that she had been inappropriately touched and molested by an adult, an actual family friend.
44-year-old Munoz is being held this morning without bond. Sunny and mild today, headed for an afternoon high of 71, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Lawmakers and advocates calling for an end to the Georgia State Patrol pursuit practices. This following a fatal crash in Little Five Points earlier this week. A news conference is set for later this afternoon. At the site of that deadly crash, WSB will be there. Metro Atlanta theater owners want parents to get involved after groups of rowdy teenagers turned showings of the popular new Minecraft film into chaos. Brant Gully with the Spring Cinema and Tap House in Sandy Springs says they had to call the cops after an infamous chicken jockey incident.
There's a scene in particular towards the end of the movie where the chicken jockey appears, and somehow it became this TikTok sensation to throw your popcorn and record it and post it.
Dozens of unsupervised teens used the opportunity to throw popcorn, pizza, ices, and salsa into the air in what Gully compares to a cafeteria food fight. Staff spent upwards of 3.5 hours cleaning up the mess. Atlanta's Morris Brown College marking a milestone today, hosting its first honors convocation in more than 2 decades. The school's president, Dr. Kevin James, telling WSB it's a significant moment in the school's turnaround since Morris Brown regained its accreditation 3 years ago.
Right now, we are recruiting the best and the brightest faculty to teach
here, and we're also recruiting the best and brightest students to attend here.
More than 100 students with GPAs above a 3.0 are receiving honors awards. James says that his personal goal is to make sure 90% of Morris Brown seniors have a job offer in hand or acceptance to grad school by the time they graduate. The American Cancer Society launching a new pilot program to offer more support to cancer patients and their caregivers here in Metro Atlanta. The program's Babs Williams.
Through ACS Empower, our new program, we're offering classes led by people with expertise to help everyone access important information during treatment.
She says the program is free and open to anybody in the metro area who is going through cancer, as well as their caregivers or family members. There is an open house. It's getting underway right now at the Hope Lodge in Decatur. It's going on until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And Spotify is experiencing an outage today. More than 40,000 users reporting issues accessing the music streaming service. The Spotify status account posting on X that they are aware of some issues right now and are checking them out. Spotify said reports, though, of issues being a security hack are false. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's down slightly, 21 points at 40,347. NASDAQ also in the red, down 1.5%, and the S&P's down more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina. Not too bad around Metro Atlanta. I believe some trouble just cleared in the Midtown area, 75-85 southbound. Right around North Avenue was pretty bunched up, but moving much better now. If you're traveling on the south side, heads up for construction, blocking the right lane of 75 south, right around 285 in Clayton County. It's also impacting that ramp from 285 east to 75 south, so some delays there. And if you're heading out in the Buckhead area, heads up for construction on Peachtree Road northbound at Farr Road. That knocks out the right lane, causing a few delays from east-west as you head up there toward the Buckhead Theater area. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high 71, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 76, heating up to the mid-80s on Friday under a sunny sky.
61 degrees in Sugar Hill and Villa Rica. Powder Springs also has 61 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
We are working with state authorities to do, it's now a pending investigation, anything we can to help convict the person that
Attorney
did this.
General Pam Bondi talking about the arson attack on the Pennsylvania governor. Coming up, we'll update that story, giving away an amazing prize pack to see Yacht Rock Review, and we'll talk tech with Kim Commando. All that next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Arum. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or You want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their comfort as a service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Beaver Direct Certified, providing the highest quality vehicles at the very best prices. Every vehicle undergoes rigorous reconditioning with an industry-leading 12-month, 12,000-mile certified warranty. Visit us at beavertoyotacumming.com and see why everyone loves Beaver Direct.
He packed in the animals 2x2, ox, camel, and a kangaroo.
11:38 on the Mark Arum Show, seconds away from Talking Tech with Kim Komando. But first and foremost, another amazing prize pack to give away. Deborah, give them the details, please.
Yeah, you get a pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review right here at the WSB Live Lounge. Very intimate performance, limited capability of people getting in there. That is next Monday, April 21st. And then on Saturday, April 26th, another chance to see Yacht Rock Review, this time at Ameris Bank Amphitheater.
All right, Deborah, I'm holding the container of Chunky's Chunky soup. This is the spicy chicken burrito, since Vinny said it wasn't salty enough. And in fact, contains 48% of your daily sodium intake. So, Vin, we're going to do the 48th caller to 404-872-06. He actually added more salt during the news break, Deborah. He said, it's better now. 48% of your daily intake. So the 48th caller to 404-872-0750 wins that fantastic prize pack courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB.
She's got grace. She's a winner.
Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, our friend, colleague. She's a lady. She's a tech goddess. She's Kim Komando. Kim, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Mark. I want to tell you about Jean.
Jean? My Aunt Jean?
Jean? No. Well, hopefully it's not your Aunt Jean. Jean, I'm so enthralled with this woman. I actually spoke to her off the air, too. She called my show, and she's in her mid-50s.
Okay.
She gets a message on Facebook about a guy who says, I think you're really attractive and I want to get to know you. And for 4 months, they're talking on Facebook. And then he says, let's go over to WhatsApp. She goes to WhatsApp. And then, over a period of, say, 18 months, she's given him $200,000.
Oh, my goodness.
In a romance scam. He needs money for his business. He needs money for his kids. He's having trouble paying his rent. And, he lives overseas in London. He's an international businessman. And because of him being an international businessman, he is getting a lot of money that he is trying to hide seemingly from the government in the UK. And so he sends money to Jean here in the Midwest, and she turns it into Bitcoin and sends it to his wallet.
Okay.
She does that for $300,000 worth. And then recently the Secret Service knocked on her door and said, we are arresting you for money laundering.
Oh, my gosh. That's not how I expected that story to end up.
And so now she has spent $250,000 in legal fees. And she's going to trial, and she's facing 29 years in prison and a $500,000 fine.
The prosecutor's not sympathetic to the story?
Nope, not at all.
Wow.
Nope, not at all. Is they're going to make a poster child of Jean, as she says. And, we are all familiar with romance scams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's lonely. This guy is courting her, saying he loves her. They're going to get married and all this other great stuff. But the money laundering, this is where it takes a new turn. And that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because if anybody's listening right now, and of course you know that you're getting scammed if somebody wants to take you off of Facebook and into WhatsApp or Signal or Telegram. I mean, that's the big red flag. We don't want you to tell anybody what's going on. This is urgent, or we need to put this money into gold bars or whatever it may be. you really need to sit back and think what the heck is going on. And I've just been getting, it just seems like so many phone calls from people getting scammed. Like this guy a couple of weeks ago got a message on Facebook from this woman who said, hi, you look cute and all this other stuff. And it wasn't a romance scam. It was that, quote unquote, she had an uncle that was really good at crypto and was going to help him do crypto. Anyway, he falls for it, gives $10,000, $50,000, gets to $700,000. And then he wants to take it out, and they say that they need another $300,000 in order to verify that he has the money, or some crazy story like this. He ended up giving $900,000, his entire retirement account, to a crypto scammer.
Oh my gosh! Can I go back to Gene for a second?
Sure.
Are the authorities going to prosecute the scammer at all? Is there any?
They can't find. They don't know where the guy is.
Oh my! So not only does she lose all this money, she's facing a trial and jail time.
Yes.
What can we do? Like,
and she's hired some expert witnesses to say that she was first romance scammed.
Yeah.
And she has given all the documentation over to the FBI. But the money laundering, because once that cash came into her possession and she turned it into Bitcoin, then it goes on the blockchain. It cannot be traced.
Was it legit cash that he sent her?
Yes, he sent her $300,000 in cash. I mean, wired her $300,000. Okay, she had given him $200,000 for all this, whatever excuses that he had. But the $300,000, it was some
just to launder
thing. Yeah, just because he's saying that I can't have this money in the UK. Give her this whole sob story. Turn it into Bitcoin, send it to my wallet. But the woman, think about this. Not only did she get emotionally devastated by a romance scam, and not only did she, now she's paying $250,000 so far in legal fees, but she has to go in front of she's having a jury trial, 12 people, and the Secret Service is not they're not backing down.
That's unbelievable. I feel so bad for her. Thanks for bringing that story to light, Kim. Amazing. If you don't mind, I got to ask. I get on LinkedIn 4 times a year. I'm not a hyper LinkedIn user. I'll check and I'm like, all these people requested my friendship or whatever. But apparently you're saying LinkedIn, you can use LinkedIn to be an influencer?
People are using LinkedIn to do that. It's absolutely crazy to me because, like you said, I hardly check it either. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not looking for a job. I'm not trying to boost my career. But posts on LinkedIn are shown to be 5 to 10% of your audience, versus if you put something on Facebook, only 2% of your audience is going to see it. So if you are trying to be Insta-famous, or you're trying to propel your business. And I know a lot of people are on Facebook, and of course you buy Facebook ads and you boost the posts and things like that. But LinkedIn has this incredible reach, but you have to know some of the secrets. Like if you drop a link in your post, it's just going to flop. Like if you add an external link that sends people off of LinkedIn, the algorithm goes, oh no, we don't want you to do that. So what you want to do is you post your content without the link, and then you drop the link in the first comment.
Oh, in the comment. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it doesn't.
I've seen that on Facebook a lot, actually. Like check the.
That's also to play with the algorithm.
Interesting.
Too.
Okay.
It is.
All right, maybe I'll get on LinkedIn.
And then you want to post like 2 to 3 times a week. Studies show that Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are the best. And short lessons learned. You don't want to be like results-oriented professional with a passion for synergy and growth hacking. I mean, Like,
I'm going to say I'm an international businessman from England, and I need someone to help.
Gosh.
That's going to be my LinkedIn profile. Kim, do you have a second to play Price is Right with us for a second?
Sure.
All right. So experts say regarding tariffs and Apple products, how much do you think, Kim Komando, if every component of the Apple iPhone was manufactured and the iPhone was manufactured here in the United States, what would the average cost of an iPhone be to American consumers?
$3,500.
What the heck? Yeah, right on the nose, Kim Commando.
What would you expect, Mark?
That's all
Come
right.
on.
We have a showcase showdown tie with you and Deborah because Deborah nailed it as well. $3,500. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's why
I know.
she's the guru. Kim, tell us about your newsletter, where folks can sign up.
Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. 650,000 folks start their day with my free newsletter. I mean,
Yeah.
amazing.
And I'm one of them.
I'm going to start a crypto newsletter too. So you can just, if you sign up for the current at getkim.com, you're going to be signed up for the crypto newsletter too. So.
All right. I'm getkim.com. Speaking of crypto, let me update the markets while I got you here, Kimberly. Let's see. Dow's down. S&P's down. NASDAQ's down. Crypto's up, though. Bitcoin up $944. So there you go. Kim, always a pleasure.
Exactly.
Thanks,
Mark.
Thank you so much. Kim Commando. I can't believe she nailed it. Unbelievable. All right, nailing your drive around town, the most accurate traffic coverage in the city. Here's Alex Williams.
Yeah, looking at a mess heading out of Midtown into Buckhead right now, Mark. We have an overturned trailer being hauled by a pickup truck. Hero on scene holding the ramp from 85 north to 400 north so they can upright this, get it hooked back up to the trailer. That's why you're seeing the brake lights back toward that exit ramp to the Buford Spring connector. No big need for an alternate. Once they get this out of the way, things will open back up. If you're traveling on the south side, they've been doing the road work in the right lane, 75 southbound in Clayton County, approaching Forest Parkway. That's also impacting the 285 ramps to 75 south, so it's causing some delays back through the airport tunnels. And in Buckhead, we still had that construction in the right lane, Peachtree Road and northbound at Farr Road. That's going to slow the ride into the lunchtime hour back toward East Wesley Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
Dave Baker here for Coolray. You know that Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical always has your back, right? Well, right now, Coolray's offering an AC tune-up for just $79.99. Hey, that's a great deal. You can stay ahead of the heat that's coming our way and get your HVAC system in tip-top shape. But maybe your system needs more than just a tune-up this year. Maybe this is the year your AC needs to be replaced. I had mine replaced last year because it was old and inefficient. But good news again. Not only can you receive up to $2,250 back in rebates when you purchase a new complete Carrier HVAC system from Coolray, but they will also upgrade your attic installation for free. Imagine the home comfort you'll feel. And Coolray has those sweet Carrier home comfort systems, the ones that come with a lifetime parts and labor warranty, on hand and ready for same day or next day installation. Keep your house cool this summer. Simply go to Coolray.com and set up your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, USDA Choice Bone and Ribeye Roast is on sale for only $8.97 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not gonna cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
This is Rocco with another reason why you should always bring your European vehicle to Rocco's European Garage. No tax charged on any service at any one of our 6 locations through the month of April. That's zero tax on your bill. You'll receive the usual top-notch customer service, including upfront pricing, customer approval prior to beginning work, complimentary shuttle service, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. And remember, guys, no tax this month on any service or repair at Rocco's European Garage.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Control Center in New York, this is Walter Cronkite reporting.
We play that one more time for you, folks, for the cheap seats.
Good evening from the CBS News Control Center in New York. This is Walter Cronkite reporting.
That was 63 years ago today. Walter Cronkite took over for Douglas Edwards as anchor of CBS Evening News. I had no idea that Douglas Edwards was the anchor before Walter Cronkite. Obviously, Walter Cronkite at one point was considered the most trusted man in America. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Congrats to Josie in Buford. She won the latest amazing prize pack to see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater and the private showing here next Monday at the WSB Live Lounge. Just an intimate gathering. Yacht Rock Review performing a couple of songs. I'm going to do a Q&A. It's going to be fantastic. Let's end on a light note. It's been a kind of heavy show. Longoria, I want you to pay attention to this next story that Deborah has for us.
Are you having a hard time hearing, Longo? Are you going deaf? Do you have an ear infection? Well, a man in Scotland went to the doctor after suffering some hearing loss. He was given antibiotics, and then one night he felt a pop in his head and some relief of pressure. The object that came out, a Lego brick covered in earwax. He thinks it might have been stuck in his ear for 20 years or more.
Whoa.
His hearing is normal again.
I blame his parents.
20 years?
20 years. Goodness gracious.
I mean, I'm not sleeping on the bed with Legos, so I don't have the option of them accidentally
Unless
getting
it was
into my
like
ear.
a college prank, like someone passed out and they're like, shove a Lego in his ear. But how do you not feel a Lego brick in his ear? I love this story because I am guilty of doing exactly this. It's a new trend on TikTok, Deborah.
People on TikTok are uploading videos of themselves eating frosting straight from the jar. One person called it like eating unhealthy yogurt. The videos have amassed more than 11 million views from the ASMR community who just enjoy the sound. But a dietitian warns eating large amounts of frosting could cause your blood sugar to spike, and that could lead to excessive nausea, bloating, GI issues overall. The trend is not new, however. We used to call it Sad Girl Saturday.
So I in my herbal youth, I definitely would eat frosting out of the can. It's delicious. I mean, you can't eat the whole can, but the concentrated deliciousness of frosting, I got to get on my TikTok. I've been doing that for decades. Well, I haven't done it in decades, but I was ahead of the time eating frosting out of the can.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National Banana Day. And did you know banana fiber can be woven into fabric? And the peel can be used to relieve itching from bug bites and poison ivy.
I keep seeing this post on social media about what fruits and vegetables used to look like before we genetically engineered them. And bananas look totally different. I mean, all the fruits look totally different. Oranges look different. Bananas look different. Avocados. You know what avocados used to look like, Deborah?
What?
Nothing like the avocado of today. I can't describe it for you. Have AI draw you a picture of what. It's just a weird looking thing. You'd be like, what is that? But it's weird. All right. Anyway, happy Banana Day. Let's do some stars of the show before we vacate the premises. Premises.
Are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
First off, Sabrina Cupid brought me a chicken biscuit. Thank you, Sabrina. That was very sweet of you. I spent a fortune on chunky soup for the youngins. Vinny turned the corner on it. He had to add more salt to chunky soup, and then he enjoyed it. Gnocchi enjoyed it. I'll give both of you guys stars of the show. Deborah Longoria. Austin Eller joined us. Great story updating that the two tragic deaths of innocent civilians after the end of high-speed police chases. We'll continue to monitor that. John Decker joined us live at the White House. Aaron Navarro from CBS in Washington, D.C. Kim Commando gets a star of the show, as does Jim Ryan on those new autism numbers. Really, really good stuff, and we'll continue to monitor that. All right, speaking of gnocchi and Vinny Bag of Donuts, just posted a picture on my Instagram page of them moments before trying chunky soup for the first time. So go check me out on Instagram, all the social medias, at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.